I love these moments too where like you've done the intro and now like have to repeat it again. Like,
What did we just say?
yeah. Welcome to another game of the National Champs. This is game 3 between South Australia and Vic Metro. I'm very excited to introduce this one because I have a special guest here with me in Felix from Everything Essendon. You're an important guest for me today because we can kick into some of these Essendon NGAs. First of all, how are you doing?
I am very well, thank you. Yes, big day for Essendon. 2 big NGA prospects coming through, Hussein Elachkar and Adam Swade. I'm excited for these boys. They look good. I've gone out to watch both of them. Half of them have played VFL footy already, so that's good fun. And this is a big test because, you know, Champs is a big step up from the Talent League.
It is.
So it's going to be interesting to see how Adam Swade in particular goes because, it's a big step up. It's a big moment for him. Hopefully he goes all right.
How would you, I think most of the football public knows that these 2 boys that are linked to you guys are small forwards. What would you say are the kind of the big differences between those 2 boys at this stage?
Well, like Swade is, I think he will be a small forward in the AFL, but I think he's going to be playing midfield here today. If, you know, where he plays midfield mostly in the Talent League. He kind of gives me like mini Dion Prestia vibes.
That is a good shout.
I did steal that off someone else.
Who said that? We better credit them.
Yeah, Rick Edwards, big brain, that guy. But yeah, it's a good shout. You know, smaller midfielder, low centre of gravity, really good in traffic.
Nuggety.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Still moves around the ground really well. Like he doesn't look like, you know, a freak athlete or anything, but he moves around the ground well.
He's got good pace.
Yep. Great lateral movement. So good in traffic. Hussein gives me, and this one goes around, but, you know, Isaac Rankin kind of vibes.
Ooh.
That one's been, you know, said a lot. It just, you know, so crafty inside 50. A bit like Kako too in his early days where he's just, you know, shot some goal. You know, it's not about the goals he kicks, but the shots he has.
For sure. A bit more of a genuine forward. We're just getting the stream up and running right now. I think we're 20 seconds into the game. SA have actually kicked a point. We're just trying to locate the stream as we go along. But yeah, good points on those 2. I think Hussein's probably more of that, more like traditional small forward.
Yeah.
A little bit deeper, while Adam Swade's probably that guy that's sort of getting a little bit higher up the ground.
Yeah.
Gets involved in stoppages and whatnot. There are plenty of other big names to talk about in this game. I mean, I look about the strength areas, particularly for South Australia. I think we kind of saw it last week against the Allies. You had Aiden Schubert, Mitch Marsh was sort of, you know, dominating in that forward half of the ground. I think where Vic Metro can sort of really get on top here, which is a usual strength area for Vic Metro teams across the years, but you're talking about Cooper Duff Tytler, Rory Wright, Sam Grlj and Oliver Greaves in that midfield. That could be an area where they get on top of SA.
Yeah, and it's just a great forward line too. Archie Ludwig, you know, keen to see how he goes. The Vic Metro teams are always strong. I can't remember the last time they've had a poor team. So I'm going into this campaign, I thought they were going to be the favourites, especially with the Allies getting knocked off early. I think we can probably expect, you'd expect a win for Vic Metro here.
I'm just going to talk our producer, Vicar, behind the camera at the moment. News and videos. There's a tab that says news and videos. It should be in there, I think. I believe.
It should.
We're just trying to get the... no, it's not there.
It does usually pop up just there.
Can you scroll down? It's not popping up. Is anybody else... I'll jump into the chat. Is anyone else having trouble locating this South Australia versus Vic Metro stream? Because we are.
Yeah, it's not coming up here either.
Not coming up?
No.
We may have...
SA slacking.
Are we doing a live stream that doesn't actually exist? CPT Blight says, I can't find it. Goat13 says, I can't find the live stream either. Is the game on TV? No. So it's not a game that's being done by Fox. Fox only do the games that are in Victoria, as I understand. So they're not streaming this one. It should be on the AFL website. We have a live score. So South Australia have kicked 1-1 and Vic Metro are yet to score. But we can't see anything.
Oh, it's your boy.
And my boy, Zane Piker. Unbelievable that I've missed that. Unbelievable.
I really like him, by the way.
So do I. I get major Ollie Hannaford vibes.
Okay, yep.
From last year. That sort of high forward, very like pressure orientated, has good speed.
Yep. And low disposal, high impact.
Exactly.
He wouldn't have had 10 and 8 or 9.
10 and 8, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's perfect.
It's very Isaac Kako
Yep.
from last year areas as far as like scoreboard impact.
Yep.
Ultimate Greatness says, nah, it's not there.
We got a tweet out to the AFL here.
Yeah, this is bad by them. I mean, come on. Get your shit together.
I don't think they've ever done that.
No, it's never happened
crazy.
before. Every time I've gone to watch this, I haven't had any trouble finding it. So at the moment, all we have is a match timeline, which is telling us what's happened. Have a look at the stats, Vicky. Just bring up the stats for us. Who's got the most disposals? Click on that D. Dyson Sharp.
All right.
So I imagine clearance is 1. So he's won the centre clearance there. Put them inside forward 50 for sure.
A big game for him, by the way.
Massive game.
Look, like he, good inside the contest last week, but I was watching back and I think there are some big question marks over Dyson Sharp for me. And I know you've talked about it too. I know there's been some disagreements, but I'm not sold on him yet. I think he's got a lot to prove still.
What are your queries mainly on DS?
I don't know. I just don't think his defensive game inside the contest is sound.
Yep.
But
Agree with
it's around the ground. I think you can run him pretty ragged if you're around him. It'll be interesting in transition.
Yes, I agree. Like doesn't get out of the square particularly well.
Yep.
I think Annabelle really exposed that.
Well, that was the surprising thing because I didn't think it would be Annabelle the type to do that. I thought it would be
No, you don't he is he's a very hard worker, Dan Annabelle, but it's not like he's got amazing athleticism. No. That's not the part of his game that really stands out. So it was surprising. I worry also about like when we're talking about these like modern day midfielders, the one like Sam Lawler was the guy last year, that big bodied inside mid that can push forward. Sam Lawler just has so many more weapons, like his general sort of technical skills, his kicking, his handballing, also his ability to go forward and take a big grab.
Yep.
Something that Dyson Sharp doesn't. I mean, he's decent aerially, Dyson Sharp, but I don't trust him necessarily to come out of stoppage and hit up a target.
No,
cute one inside forward 50, which I think you really want. And teams this year, particularly in 2025 in the AFL, have kind of showed that, ball using teams like Collingwood, Brisbane, the guys that have plenty of guys that can kick the footy.
Yep.
They're the ones that are really turning it on. So it is a big day for him.
Yep.
I'm sure he'll stand up to the occasion.
Oh, gee, they're having a go early, SA.
Far out. Peppering at home.
Schubert.
I really want to know who's in the midfield for Vic Metro. Like this is
cool,
torture.
Yeah.
5 minutes gone in the first quarter. Still no stream.
Burden has got his hands on the ball a bit, it seems.
Yeah. Go into the comments. Someone's blaming it on Laura Kane. That's probably harsh. That is probably harsh. Ollie Greaves. Where's the stream, bruh? Yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's incredible, isn't it? People saying like they should advertise it more. Just in general, nobody ever knows where to go to find these games. They don't talk about it very much at all. Considering this is the premier competition of the feeder to the AFL, like this is where your next generation stars.
Yep. Well, I've never even had issues with the Talent League, aside from there being a lack of commentary sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Which you can kind of get over that, can't you?
Yeah.
It's like at least it's there.
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, I found it interesting. I've tried to watch as much SA footy and waffle footy as well. It's like it's getting difficult with the subscription stuff that you need to have as well. Like you need an SA subscription, you need a streamer subscription.
Yeah.
So it's like it's tough to actually keep across it all as well.
Yeah, I had to get like the 2-week trial just for the mid-season draft because I was so heavy on that watching the Sandful. Yeah, and then we didn't even up taking anyone in the Sandful Essendon. But yeah, you'd think that they'd be all over this, surely.
I was trying to get go back and watch like North Adelaide games for you and McKinley.
Yes,
check out his stuff and
Well, I was big into Big Van Wyck.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, he's good.
I absolutely love him.
I reckon. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I reckon he could be one that even gets picked up. I think if he plays enough footy this year, could get picked up in the national.
Yeah. Well, he's got an ankle injury. He'll be back I think it was about a month when the mid-season draft was on. So maybe in a few weeks.
Yeah. That for mid-season draftees, it's a disaster. Really, it's fatal. Can we show the game? Yeah, we can't show the game anyway. But right now, we have bigger issues on the stream right now, and that is that we can't even stream the game. So we're not even talking about the game right now. the AFL has effed us over massively here. We've gone into the AFL.com. The stream is not coming up. So as I understand, nobody can watch it. Let us know in the comments if you can, if you have found a way to watch it. We're struggling here.
Schubert.
Schubert's kicked it.
Four touches and a point already.
Aiden Schubert dominating from the stat sheet here. He's got 20 AFL fantasy points, 4 disposals.
Get him in your team.
Get him in your team. Get him now. Marta AFL says, I saw the stream yesterday, work fine. It did. Pommy and I streamed the game yesterday. It was perfectly sitting there, ready to go when the game started. Today, not so much. Thomas Burton's got 3 touches already, 2 kicks, 1 handball, 3 marks. I'm sure he's paroling that half-back area.
I can envision it right now, what's happening.
Yep. Considering you look at the top there, Andrew Barker, a key defender's got a bit of the ball. And Haas has kicked a point. He's had a shot at goal.
It was a good point, though.
It was a good point.
Well, on Haas, I think Essendon fans would be interested because it is tough finding a range for these players so early in the year, especially because we've barely started champs. Where do you see Huss and Swade?
It's a good question.
And who do you think's higher than the other? Because I've seen plenty of disagreement with that.
I think Swade's higher.
Okay.
I just think he can do a little bit more as far as he's got the endurance to get up the ground, which I think is sort of a staple of the modern day player. And when you're looking at, I suppose, like list places first and foremost, the endurance guys can more easily get on a list because they can come in and play midfield. I think he's going to be a weapon, the fact that he can go on ball. And I rate his competitiveness a little bit more over Hussein's at the moment. Just his physicality around the ball.
Yeah.
I think he looks like one of those guys that really wants to win, and he pulls off clutch little plays to get his team like out of stoppage and that sort of thing. So I'm a Swade man, but I like us to place them in the draft. I think Swade around that 20 mark.
Yeah.
And Huss maybe 30 to 40.
And that's the interesting thing is because people we're talking about how this draft is, of a lesser quality than others. I think it is actually pretty deep. I just think it's not as talented. Like the top end talent just isn't there compared to other drafts, but it does bat pretty deep when we're, putting guys like Huss in the 30s because, he was in the VFL kicking 3 goals.
It's definitely shaped, hasn't it, this draft? Like the more I do it, I did a list up in the last couple of days, and I started to. It wasn't a pure like ranking. I wasn't ranking the guys far back, but I just started to list everyone. I'm like, this guy could get drafted. Like he's got traits, and I was getting up to like 70, 80 names pretty quickly. Yeah. So they're not all going to get drafted, obviously. So there is that depth. I do think when you put it up against the 2024 crop, particularly, which was a particularly strong crop, I think we're going to see that in the next few years. That is a very good draft. You look at all of those top guys, and there's there's a bit of a flaw with everyone in this year's crop compared to say last year. If you look at, I don't know, like you're looking at a big body mid, someone like a Dyson Sharp, he's got flaws that we just talked about compared to like a Sam Lawler. And Dyson Sharp has just kicked a goal. It's popped up on the stream. Just letting everyone know in the comments still, we haven't got the live stream either. It's not, to quote the AFL here, it's not gettable. The stream is not gettable. We can't find it. We can just see the live feed coming up. If anyone can get the stream going, let us know and maybe give us instructions on how to get that. But we don't have it. We are just streaming and talking about it. Jared Simmons says your lid is gettable, mate. Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate that. So what were we talking about then? We're talking about the top 10 and
weaknesses.
So what are your thoughts on that? I've kind of spilled my guts.
Well, the way I see it, aside from Cooper, Duff, Tytler, who I think would be a pretty strong, contender for around that pick 1 range or like top 5 in most years, I can't really see too many other players that are just cemented. Like even in last year's draft, I don't know what your order is now, but mine would be CDT, maybe Dan Animal, to be honest now. But I don't think Dan Animal's that high in the last few drafts.
No, definitely not. Like Dan Animal to me is going, like he's a banker,
Yeah.
Absolute banker, solid 200-game midfielder, most likely. But
He's going to be good.
Yeah, you know he's going to be good, but you're probably not getting that absolute high upside. I think maybe the ceiling's like Caleb Sarong.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So he's that type of player.
I mean, that'd be pretty good though.
Oh, it'd be pretty. Yeah, it would be. Like it'd be obviously that's great for, and particularly for like certain teams that have struggled to find that sort of player. But yeah, he's not like doesn't have those, I don't know, like generational qualities.
Yeah,
like a Bontempelli or something. If we're sort of doing that, I agree with you. I think Cooper Duff Tytler as a ruck / key position forward. I think that's really the only stick you could beat Cooper Duff Tytler with. The fact that it is that position, that ruck position. Do you actually, do you want to take that in the draft at pick number 1? At the moment, my pick 2 is Sam Grlj.
Oh, okay.
He's rocketed up for me.
Oh, he's not getting his hands on the ball much.
He's not.
I don't think.
He's not. So that could make me.
No, I like that though. He's around the mark for me too.
Yeah. I feel like he does. He has a lot of that with his athleticism, his pace. Has
Huss everywhere.
Huss has got second most touches to Schubert randomly. How's Schubert got the most disposals?
This would be a great game to watch. There are some strange things going on.
Yeah. Vic Metro yet to hit the scoreboard. I've tipped them as my championship winners.
Yep.
Vic Metro.
Same here.
Surprised by this start. What's the weather like in SA at the moment? Is it wet?
It was pretty wet, yeah. Don't know about today, but if it was anything like yesterday when I left, it was pretty bad.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The stat sheet's really surprising me.
Schubert, what's he doing?
What is going on? He's
playing in the ruck now because he's just got another hit out as well.
I wonder if it's super wet and he's just grabbing it out.
That could be. It could be a really scrappy game.
So who's he going to be up against? He'll be up against
who
Cooper.
Who rucks after when Cooper rests for?
Well, Louis Emmett's injured.
Yep.
So he's not in. Who would it be? I reckon it's just like a Ludowick or a who's the other key position?
How tall is he?
197.
Okay.
So he's quite tall. No, I mean, he's not really ruck.
Yeah, I was at the airport yesterday, and the Vic Metro boys rolled through.
Did they?
Yeah, we on the flight, the plane that I caught to Adelaide.
You were swapping planes.
Yeah, we were swapping planes. Yeah.
Yep.
And it was. I know they're kids, but it was a small looking team. Like there wasn't a big presence, a big ruck presence.
Was Cooper there?
I missed him. I didn't see Huss either.
Gotcha.
I didn't see Huss or Swade.
That's interesting. But I think you're right. Oh, Zach McCarthy is the other one. So he would probably be the first choice second ruck. I would say the Collingwood NGA prospect. What's everyone saying in the comments? They're showing clips of the Metro versus SA game. What is going on?
Oh, they've shown clips of it.
Yeah, what does that mean? Who's the best defender in the draft? Do any of these games get televised? They do. So as the champs go on, you'll see that the games that are played in Victoria, Fox Footy will do them, and you'll be able to get them on KO. But these games, this one's played in South Australia. Yesterday's match was played in Western Australia. Fox, as far as my understanding, they don't get over for those games. Like they just don't bother sending anyone, which is a bit average as well. The games are supposed to be all streamed live on the AFL website, but Josh Saxon has just kicked a goal for Vic Metro.
And a point.
At the same time. It's come up at the same time. One
in the
goal.
space of a minute? Or?
Yeah. Maybe it's a goal review. They're like not sure which one it's gone. They're going to like wipe one off. So we should be able to watch this game right now. At the moment, we're watching a timer screen of the game go up and the scores changing and the live match feed. If anybody can get the stream, let us know. Ben Bailey says, "How are you watching it?" We're not, mate. We're seeing absolutely nothing. We obviously set the live stream up thinking that we were going to be able to watch the game, but that just absolutely hasn't happened.
Throw a question about the best defender.
Ooh,
someone said. His name's just popped up on the screen there, and I think he's probably a good shout down the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great shout.
Yep.
Number 23 for Vic Metro, Xavier Taylor. He's a 191 centimetre intercepting defender from the Eastern Ranges. So he does a lot of that. Think Luke Traynor, really.
That's exactly who.
From last year. So someone that's not like that's the only difference between him and Luke Traynor. Trainor's more like closer to 195. I think he was 194 Traynor. So has a little bit of extra height, so probably has the potential to play more lockdown roles on bigger key position forwards, with Taylor's more of a genuine shield type defender. I think he's more likely going to be playing like loose man, but he can definitely defend one-on-one and probably has the ability to defend on those different types of forwards. Like he could take a hybrid, a small or a tall type option as well, but he's really good with ball in hand, which I think is probably his biggest weapon at the moment, and just combined with how good he is aerially, I've loved his season.
It'd be really interesting to see him in this game because there's a pretty clear, blend of talls and smalls for both teams, really. Well, SA not as much, but
straight up, I would assume that the matchup that he would have got would have been Mitch Marsh.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be
that would be fun.
Yeah, juicy matchup there. So that would be fun to watch if we could watch it. 5 points of difference now. SA lead by 18 minutes gone in the first quarter. This is riveting stuff, guys. The worm that we can see is going up and it's going down, and we're getting everything. So again, let us know. There's a question come through about Will said, who's looking good by the eye test? Yeah. At the moment, by the eye test, I would say definitely Hussein.
Oh, there we go. Another goal.
To Metch. Oh, they have. Metro have hit the front. Xavier Bammett off a wing. Do you know Xavier Bammett? Here's a fun fact for him.
Okay.
Runs a 2 kilometre time trial in 5 minutes and 50 seconds.
Any 5.
If that's got a 5, it's like you go.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Is he a skinny?
No.
Okay.
He's a very powerful nuggety player.
Right. That is interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
186. So he's a big boy as well. But yeah, definitely. Looking at him, I would have first gone your speed and power.
Yeah.
You're not running a 2K time trial in anything less than 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Very surprising, very interesting. And I think that does, with that sort of work rate, that sort of running ability.
Oh, that'd actually be a good wing battle today too, because you've got the SA wings are strong.
Harley Barker, Matt Rory has played there. I think you're looking at those SA wingers and you're going, they're definitely going to have the edge aerially.
Yeah.
So if they get used as an outlet kick, really strong, and if they can push forward and sort of create an outnumber on Metro, I really rate Harley Barker. He's got a lot of good traits. He's a good endurance runner, has really good speed. I think he did a 20-meter sprint in 2.87.
Okay.
So genuine speed, sort of a hybrid
acceleration.
Athlete. Yep.
And it's always tough to know how many SA or just interstate players will get drafted. Like it's why everyone kind of locks onto Dyson Sharp and Mitch Marsh. But I think he's probably getting close-ish to a lock, I'd say. Would you? Or
Mitch Marsh?
Nah, Barker.
Oh, Barker, yeah. To get drafted.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's like archetypal modern-day winger, really. I think if you look at someone like an Ollie Dempsey, a lot of traits similar to him. So I think he's potentially in the top 30.
Yeah, and running's so important now. Like it's every year it's getting more and more important. So
we've actually got Louis Emmett in the comment section here. I assume it's the Louis Emmett. What happened to the stream? And then he said, "I'm injured, unfortunately," which we mentioned on the stream too, Louis. So thanks for jumping in, mate. Disappointingly, you are injured because I was really keen to see you in this series. Stream is up. Cakesy, stream is up.
Oh.
Producer Vic, let's go. Thank you very much for that, Cakesy.
Yep, stream is
it's up.
Huge.
All right, guys, everybody that's in the stream, we can now get the game going as well, and we can actually see some visual activity, some stimuli. We still can't find it. Where is it? Which tab? Help.
I reckon if you go... Yeah, that's a good shout.
There we go.
All right. Surely somewhere down here.
Please give us... Someone's just said we underrate Dyson Sharp.
Oh, yeah. Go to the... Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh.
Someone's just sent me a message on Instagram and it just says, am I stupid or is there no stream for this game? Yes!
Oh, perfect.
We're in.
All right.
Alberton Oval.
Doesn't look too wet.
No, it doesn't look wet at all, does it? What are those mountains in the background?
Good question.
What are those ranges? Here we go. There's Swade, is it? No, that's Gresh. Gresh
Oh, watch out.
gives it to Burton. His Grlj. Look at that pace. Poor handball, though. Puts Hussein under pressure. Turnover in the middle of the ground. That was Noah Dorr for SA. He looks like a good rebounding defender as well, in a similar vein to Xavier Taylor. SA streaming forward here.
Oh, maybe there's a bit of dew. Yeah,
It's
that
slippery.
ball. Yeah, that ball doesn't look like it's sitting well.
Absolutely. Check in with us, guys, in the comments. Let us know if you're watching, if you've been able to.
Oh yeah, some rain coming down. You can see it.
You can.
Yep.
And those mountain ranges are really intriguing.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Felix. Just go into the comments underneath the scores. Yeah, we've got it there. Lofty mountain ranges. We've put the stream in the comments now for anybody else trying to get it on. This looks like a great game. Vic Metro by 1 point, 23 minutes gone in the first quarter. It's funny because we're going to get quarter time like straight away here.
Oh, nice.
12, who's that? I mentioned it yesterday, but I need that recalibration.
Yeah,
Metro.
this is
Greaves.
nice.
Greaves out of the square. Who was that kicked that inside 50?
Yeah, I don't know. What number did you say? 12?
Yeah. Who is number 12?
Yeah, you were. I'll finish your point.
It was Aki Butler. Bottom agent from the Sandringham Dragons.
Right. Okay, cool.
Gun player, yeah.
Yep, nice. As you were saying, it is tough, tuning in for especially for Vic Metro here, because we haven't seen them play yet.
No.
But they're all in different numbers, wearing different colours, probably playing in some different positions as well, a lot of the time.
I'm super interested to see who was like the starting centre bounce group.
Yeah.
My guess going in was that it would have been Grlj, Wright, Greaves.
Well, you've got part of them here. Who's
Burton's in there now.
Yeah.
Is that Huss? That looks like Huss on the far side.
I'm going to guess it's...
No, that's Huss. Hussy boy, isn't it? There goes Burton. Jeez.
Oh, no, it is Suede.
No, that's Huss, isn't it? Number 2.
Wait, was it Huss and Suede? I was looking at...
Oh, they might have been both in there because I didn't see the guy on the right.
Yeah, I was looking at Suede.
Hussy was in there for sure.
That is an interesting... Well, he barely, goes and centre bounces in the Talent League.
That's Hunter Holmes, who just had the ball there. I really like him too.
Yep.
Oakley
Is
Chuck.
he the brother?
Brother of Max. Yeah, he's got some serious running ability, good traits, good skills, really clean with the ball as well. So definitely keen to see him. More suited to like an outside role at the moment, but you can definitely see inside mid written on him.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to remember Max in his draft here because I don't think I was following too much, but it would have been... I'm guessing they would have been pretty similar given their
For sure.
close relation. I think it's just gone quarter time.
It has gone quarter time. So just as we've started the stream, we've lost it again. I'm going to go and have a look at some of the numbers.
Dyson Sharp having a big game.
It does look like it. Somebody wrote in the comments actually that we underrate him, which is, that's totally fine on your opinion. So the only thing is with this comment, it says you underrate Dyson Sharp. He's a dual All-Australian at 16. It's totally fair. Like I know his pedigree coming through was enormous, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he projects.
Yeah.
And then they said he is Lockie Whitfield slashing off half back. Don't see that.
Dyson Sharp.
Yeah, he is Lockie Whitfield.
What was that about?
Or is that a separate?
Maybe
It's in the
Cole?
same.
Oh.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's... I don't see much damage with Dyson Sharp.
No, I'm the same. I see a contested animal that maybe at AFL level plateaus out a little bit. Yep. Matthew Stevens said, do you think Dyson Sharp can iron out his kicking at AFL level? Adam Simpson has said several times this year that you can develop a kid from a C grade kick to a B grade kick and a B grade kick to an A grade kick. Yeah, like 100%. I mean, I think that sort of comes down to the individual on some level. I think that's sort of a mentality thing. What I see just from a pure like a talent ID perspective, if you want to call it that, is the fact that you have a player that's relied heavily on strength throughout his junior career. Like he looks like a man, doesn't he? Yeah,
and that's always the issue with judging these guys. Same with I was a bit iffy on Smiley last year, and even Greaves this year. It's tough to know how much of their dominance is because of their strength against skinny kids. Yeah.
I also look at it from the sense of when you have that. Say Dyson Sharp's been since he was 14 years old, right? Yep. Say he's had that as a big advantage over everybody else. Naturally, as you play games of football against other players, you wouldn't rely on your kicking.
No. Yep.
Because you've got this weapon that you're just like pushing kids away, you're protecting the space, you're winning the ball. So all of your traits or all of your sort of experience is going into like winning the ball and not necessarily having to use it. So
and you get a big wake up call when you're actually going against big bodies.
Yeah.
But he's in a good state for that because you'd suspect he'd play. Has he played sandful footy yet?
Yes,
he has.
Even last year.
Okay, right. Oh, jeez.
He played bottom age sandful footy.
All right. Okay.
Which, like, again, it's not as if I don't actually worry so much from the perspective that he's going to come into the AFL and then it's not going to be a weapon for him.
Yeah,
I do think it will be a weapon for him. I just think that when that is your main weapon and it has been for a long time in your juniors, you neglect other skills.
Yeah.
And then those skills, like, I feel like kicking's one of those skills that it has been mentioned here that you can improve your kicking, but I don't know. Can you think of many players that were bad kicks and are now great kicks?
Well, there's an interesting, for Essendon fans, comparison going around with Elijah Sardis and Joe Watson. So Essendon fans are, really wanting Sardis to get footy, us to get footy into Sardis so we can improve his kicking like Joe Watson did. Because when Watson came to the club, he was a very poor kick. Yep. I don't think they're similar players, but just in that, just in that aspect.
Yep.
And Sardis, unfortunately, he's really good in the contest, great at finding the footy. He just does nothing with it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And they're, they're obviously players who probably, who's one recently who's come in and just improved his kicking. Well, even if they do, they're not going to be elite kicks of the footy.
No, you're not going to turn into. You'd rather a higher base level, right?
Yeah.
And then being able, like, they're all, once they come into AFL, they're all going to. They should. If they're coming in and working really hard, they should improve all aspects of their game.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes with certain skills, there's less room for growth. I mean, you talk about even like athletic traits as well. Like, there's generally an idea that you can improve endurance more than you can improve speed, but you can improve like the first couple of steps more than you can improve genuine like straight line speed as well. So you do have to take all of those things into consideration when you're looking at that growth. I think Sardis is a good example of that. And kind of, if I'm like tying that back to something I said earlier about the modern game, I feel like even on some level, like when Sardis was drafted, Essendon would have seen him as this sort of very, like, I see him as like a highly athletic player and someone that's a really good contested ball winner, but doesn't have that outside part to his game. And even just, 3 years later, that looks like a bigger hole than it probably did at the time. Yeah,
I mean, and that's the thing. It not to harp on about him because I don't like dissing players or anything, but there hasn't really been too much improvement in his game, and that's always something that can just unfortunately catch clubs off guard, or maybe it is poor development. But a lot of these big ball winners in the draft year, it looks good on paper. 30, 35 touches a game. Same in the VFL, but when they get to the AFL, the damage side of it's just not there. And that's why clubs aren't playing him.
Yeah, I definitely always side over a player that I think is quality on the ball with less quantity, for sure.
Like Zane Piker.
Exactly. Zane Piker. Even like last year, like Finn O'Sullivan for me wasn't a guy that was getting huge numbers. Sam Lawler wasn't a guy that was getting huge numbers, but pretty much when they do win the ball, when they get the ball, they usually use it pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think you can kind of see that at the top level as well. A few people getting in, like disagreeing with us on Dyson Sharp for sure. Sharp's best case is prime Clayton Oliver. I think both rely on their size and inside work, and they aren't great athletes.
I do like Sharp. I just don't think he's a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah. I think he's first round probably.
He is what he is.
Yeah, but
I'd probably be surprised if like an Adelaide or a Port Adelaide overlooked him.
Well, I can see him being like a 200 game player, solid in the midfield. But I just think there are better players in this draft.
I totally agree. Yeah, I think it's a good shout though. The Clayton Oliver shout is probably a pretty good one. Big bodied mid, not necessarily the best skills. We are back live. There's Oliver Greaves getting it out of the centre clearance here. So Vic Metro lead by 7 points. And this is looking good. Harley Barker, look at that pace. I really like him. He's growing on me.
Yep.
Get an inside forward 50 there.
I reckon he's someone who could go pretty early, or earlier than we expected.
Same.
Yeah, I think he could be a first round draftee.
He's got good skills. Even he plays at, I forget which SANFL club he plays at, but he plays on ball. Like he plays inside and his skills are good. And another one that's in that same bracket, I would say Sam Cumming, who's just popped into screen there, number 16 for SA. Very good athleticism, very good inside skills and outside skills. And I could see them both going ahead of Dyson Sharp in the draft, as well as Mitch Marsh. So I think Dyson Sharp could even be like the 4th or 5th South Australian drafted.
I don't hate that. I mean, I don't think he will be. I think. Oh.
Do you think? Because I think there'll be certain clubs that just rate they'll rate the bottom age footy and like the kind of the star athlete. I don't know, star player part of it. Good from Greaves.
Yeah,
there.
that is nice.
His as a big bodied mid, Greaves' ball use stands out a little bit more.
And that's a risky kick too. That's not just that's across the goal face and defensive half. I mean, there are clubs that need someone like Dyson Sharp, probably. If I'm picking, just my favourites, I've already got Mitch Marsh ahead of him.
Yep. Same.
And I do like Harley Barker. I think, yeah.
Sam Cumming needs a bit more time for you.
I don't know if we're just going a bit too early on the Dyson Sharp.
Yeah. For sure. Here's Matt Leray lining up for South Australia. I'm not sure who kicked that outlet ball, but it was a poor one. Someone's put in the comments, Rodriguez or Greaves, who goes first? I think Greaves for me, for sure. He's got more size to him. I think his ball use is probably similar, probably potentially even better, I would say, Greaves. This is a conversation. So Rodriguez, have you seen much of him, Felix?
Didn't watch yesterday, so not too much, no.
He's been a player that's noted for his kicking, but every time I watch him play, I'm not particularly impressed by the kicking. And what it is for me, it's like he kicks this sort of... He's got a bit of a Brian Myers-y action. So he does this sort of like thing where like the ball kind of like tips over as he kicks it. He always kicks long.
Right.
And he's got a very like good penetration, and the long kick is definitely accurate. Like, can't fault that at all. The issue is he doesn't seem to ever like do the lower your eyes kick, like the low trajectory sharp one, or he doesn't do any cross body or anything like that. So I feel like that kicking is quite limited.
Yeah. That's also something though, because it is hard to watch every game from multiple states. There have been times where, I just don't rate players as highly because the games I watch are poor games.
Yes.
So until, it was only recently where, not even yesterday's game, but Noah Hibbins-Hargraves, I saw a couple of games early for him, and even last year potentially. And I didn't see it. And then I went to watch Dandenong Clay Calder live.
And then,
I think he kicked 4 or 5 goals and that changed my tune.
100%. Well, that was big for me last year with Finn. I remember going to see him when he played in the VFL. And I'm like, this guy is just like the athleticism and the movement. It was just on another level, like completely to everyone else in the field. And Jagger was out there as well. And you're like, okay, this guy has serious weapons that can hurt teams at AFL level. Metro just getting on the ball a bit here.
I was going to say they're moving the ball really nicely until that late period of the passage. They get a free kick anyway, so they're going to have a chance to go inside 50 here. I tell you what, something that really bugs me, right? Mm-hmm. Free kick, opposition have the ball, the lofted underarm throw straight into the air that takes about 10 seconds to get back. It could be 50 metres, but technically you're giving the ball back to them on the full.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so you don't like the 50?
Oh, no, I don't like that. It's just
you don't
annoying.
You don't like them doing it? Yeah. I'm the same. I reckon there's so much of that goes on. Like even, when somebody gets kind of put down just slightly late when they're on transition?
Yes, yeah.
And just put to the ground, and we don't pay 50 or we don't, there's kind of no penalty for doing that a lot of the time.
Who's just taken that intercept mark?
I reckon that's Taylor.
Yeah, it might be.
No, wait, 22. No, it's Max Contagianis. I want to talk about him actually.
Okay.
I've seen him play a lot this year because I've been going to the APS footy. He's the captain of Carey Grammar. He is a really, really, really good player, both offensively and defensively. He's 190, hybrid defender, can defend, can intercept, and when he goes like on a marauding run, it's a bit Nick Blakey.
Okay, all right. Oh, they've got a few of those defenders actually. I don't know about their main key backs, but there's it's not a tall.
It's not a super tall, but they've got a lot of hybrids like that, like Taylor 191,
and that's probably why Schubert's having such a big game.
Yeah, he's just got that. What's Schubert 199?
Yeah, he's tall. Well, he took that contested mark on the wing just before pretty easily.
Oh no, he's only 194. Oh no, this came up last week actually. So he's listed at 194. Dyson Sharp's actually got the ball. Has he hit the target? No, he hasn't. He's listed at 194, but the commentators were saying he was 197, and I've heard that he's also 199.
He's not 194.
No, he's taller than that, isn't he? Yeah, for sure. And he's got that sort of gangly, long arm sort of build as well. So I feel like a bit of a like Sam Darcy reach.
But he's pretty strong. You know, it's not like he's not. He looks lanky, but as he just approaches on screen there.
I'm just reading the comments here. Dill, you rated Rodriguez highly yesterday, but he had 17 touches. I didn't see the game, but what made him stand out above, say, Dersma? Cheers. Yeah, so yesterday, Rodriguez's game, like I don't personally have Rodriguez as like a top 10 prospect, but definitely the impressive thing about his game was more probably from a mentality side of things. I just think he was the guy that willed WA sort of back into the game when they needed it. He won big clearances at big moments. He kicked 2 big goals, both from around the 50 mark. So he's kicking like he's got long penetrative kicking, and it was a sort of a captain's performance. It doesn't mean that I necessarily rate him because I thought he was like one of the best players. I think he was probably second best player on the ground yesterday to Noah Hibbins-Hargraves. But good performance. For me, he's probably still outside the top 10 though.
I am really enjoying the way this game's playing out. You've got Vic Metro, handball heavy out of the defensive half.
Yep.
Oh, good kick. Nice.
Who was that? That might have been Archie.
The kick was Archie. Is that Lockie?
That's Doveston.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
So Doveston lining up for a goal to put Vic Metro 2 goals in front. Vic Metro, handball heavy out of the defensive half. Then you've got SA kind of more corralling than tackling as it approaches the forward half of that.
They're almost letting them come on.
And trying to force them out wide. And it is working until just a good entry kick from Archie Ludovic there.
If you were coming into this game coaching against Vic Metro, where would you see their strongest line?
The forward line's great. I mean, and there's a goal to... Yep.
It looks breezy there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah. The forward line's very strong. And you can't... It's tough because it's so strong in different areas. You know, tall forwards are so hard to defend. And we saw last week SA's defence... held firm, but there were some big games from the Keys.
Yep.
But this is a big test this week because the Allies don't really have too many ground level players, and then you're going into a game against Hussein, Doveston, some really good ground level players. So it is a tough forward line to defend.
100%. Yeah, it's a good point actually on the Allies because they don't. I'm interested with this midfield because I really would have expected that I would have been seeing more of Sam Grlj.
Or Hussein's back in there.
Yeah. Hussein's in the midfield, Swade on the far side.
I actually haven't seen too much of Grlj. Has he?
No. Like I saw him right at the beginning. And then number 16 there, I'm trying to work out who that is.
For Metro? Or?
Yeah. Oh, that's Aaron Sharkey from the Oakley Chargers. Yep. So would have expected all 3 of those guys, I would have expected them to be Sharkey off a half back and Swade and El Ashkar kind of half forward, I would have expected.
I did not expect Hussein to be getting...
CBAs.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Too strong a midfield to have him there. I don't really. So just going to find. So Grlj has touched the footy a bit.
He was definitely there. I haven't even seen Rory Wright.
I completely forgot about Rory Wright. CDT is winning this ruck battle.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of him either, to be honest.
He's done some nice things. His ball use. Oh, never mind.
I was about to say he is a great that's his weapon.
Yeah. Oh, what's that? 50 for
against Swade.
Oh,
your boy.
No,
that's it. He's sliding now. He's gone.
Rookie draft.
Oh no.
This is, to be fair, for any Essendon fans there. This is you don't want to see your NGA prospects do too well here.
No.
I would be very happy with just glimpses. I don't want to see their stocks rise because then, you got the same as last year where you got to trade away those first rounders. Here we go.
Doveston getting involved.
Look at these chains. There's just
this is impressive from Doveston that he's getting that high up the ground as a small forward for me.
Yep.
I think at the moment, would you say that he's the top small forward in the draft crop for you?
Yeah, probably. Him or Huss. I mean, Huss has those VFL goals. He did look impressive.
True.
But I've seen so much more of Hussein. I've seen him at his best a lot more than I've seen Dovison.
Sure. So there's potentially a slight bias there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. That's definitely a point in this whole thing as well. I mean, when you're watching more games live in a certain state, you are naturally going to.
Oh, that is good.
That is good work.
Yeah. Hussein, as we're talking about him, just gets out of about 3 tacklers.
So Rory Wright's had 3 touches. Sam Grlj has had 7 touches.
What number is Rory Wright?
He is number 17. I feel like I'd like to see the time on ground or understand where he's playing.
They don't have those stats, do they?
I wonder if Rory Wright has potentially been placed across the half-back line because he's a really good kick and he's quite good overhead.
How quick is he?
He's not quick.
Okay.
He is not quick.
Because they are getting serious pace out of the back half here.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, definitely he's a guy that doesn't rely on pace, and I would say that he's kind of made up for that with the fact that he's a good kick of the footy.
I don't even see him on the field.
No. Get him in there. Let him cook. Who's that? That's Jai Saxoner.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So it's an interesting game here. We've got Metro out now to a 13-point lead. Why can't I do maths? No, 12-point lead. 27 and 15. 12 minutes gone in the second quarter. We've missed, let's be honest, most of this game.
Yeah, we missed the first quarter.
Yeah.
It is playing out kind of how we thought. I want to see the ball in this SA half a bit more, or them get some good attacks, because I want to see if it is a Xavier Taylor Mitch Marsh battle. You know,
yes.
I want to see them isolated a bit if that is the matchup.
Mitch Marsh has just come onto screen there, just defending a little bit of space. I think he's potentially a top 10 pick.
His stocks are rising. If he has a good game, what's he done today actually?
That's a good question.
Because I didn't hear much of him in that first quarter.
1 touch. Top 10.
I mean, he was good last week. And he's shown plenty these last the last month or so. He's really...
Oh,
that's nice.
That was nice. That is...
27?
23. That is Sean Benier. Good player. Very good player.
Oh, hello.
Jeez.
No. Oh, big leg.
Far out.
I didn't even catch who that was either.
No. Definitely with the the depth players of South Australia, not sort of noticing them from the look. He goes Grlj, getting on the ball in the back half.
Okay, interesting.
Fine.
Was that play on, I'm guessing? What is... I mean, it's a goal.
What has happened there?
That is some ugly footy.
That is not good. Who was that? That was... the calibration is real.
Yeah, it is tough.
Taylor on kick-in.
Oh, gee, that is...
Oh, Cumming.
Free kick, luckily.
Whoa.
Oh, no, unluckily. Really bad kick in there.
Need to bring this sheet up here. So that wasn't Taylor. I said it was Taylor. It was Max Kondo.
Okay, right.
Kondogiannis.
I was about to put Taylor out of my draft calculations.
Okay, we've got some more questions coming through here. Simon says, hey boys, as a Tigers supporter, you mentioned Sam Grlj as the top end guy to balance out a midfield with Lawler and someone like Smiley, hopefully. Has anyone else jumped out so far in the champs?
You know who I liked for Richmond?
Who?
I've been thinking about this a bit because I look at their draft haul last year. I reckon Josh Lindsay, if I was doing a mock draft, and I don't know if I rate him more than you do, but he's right up there.
I rate him pretty highly, yeah.
I think in this draft, that's probably the player that I'd be wanting to take in aside from CDT.
That's fair. No, totally fair. And I think he just keeps having good games in big games.
Yep.
Every time he gets if there's a medal on offer, he's putting that around his neck. So yeah, I already probably one of the front runners for the best player for country. Yeah. Definitely he was up there yesterday for me. Probably I'd have Hibben Sargraves above him from yesterday's game. But yeah, no, he's
in the just from
not draft order because of that. But just on that game alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, and again, I keep rehashing that point about kicking being so important. He's the best kick in this draft.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's something Richmond need. I can't. Who in that team just leaps out to you as an elite kick?
100%. And you could. We'll probably from the draft crop, Lawler. He's an elite kick.
Different types of kick though.
Yes.
You know,
yeah, 100%. And
I
definitely
want that mixture, that Lindsay and Lawler. That would be great. I think that's someone Richmond would.
And Lindsay's just such a guy that you could plug and play straight away.
Yep.
As far like you could Sheasel him.
Back half. Yep.
Yep. Half-back flanker. Teach him a little bit how to defend. I'm not that you really need to teach him because he's kind of already doing that now as a half-back flanker. But yeah, it's just a perfect fit. I think he'd be one of the guys that would, a little bit similar to Xavier Lindsay for Melbourne this year, just sort of come in, like finds the footy really, really comfortably. He'd be a perfect sort of player. And not that he's jumped out in the national champs, which was sort of the question. But yeah, he would definitely be high on Richmond's list, I'd imagine. I'm trying to think of guys that, I mean, I suppose like as far as like has had a good performance in the champs, like Hibbins-Hargraves would be that guy. He'd been injured for most of this season, so I think he'd sort of slipped out of people's minds.
Yeah.
He's one for me that I've always rated pretty highly. I just think he's got, he's one of the guys that gets forgotten about because he's not getting like 30 touches every week. He's a 15 and 2-3 goals guy.
Yeah.
I think that was Rory. Marsh.
There you go. And where's Lindsay in that? Not there.
Taylor, you mean?
Oh, Taylor, sorry.
Yeah,
That's all right.
that's kind of Giannis, isn't it?
Might be an injury here to Mitch Marsh.
Yeah, he's not.
Maybe just a big knock. You do feel big knocks after a big mark. You want to make the mark look better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He doesn't look happy.
I think he's winded.
Yeah.
And anyone that's been winded, it sucks.
It is bad. All right, go through and put it through the big sticks. Someone I want to talk about. Impressed me last week.
In the Allies game?
Yes.
Who are we talking?
Jack Cook.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a good one. Are you a bit worried about his size though?
I mean,
I suppose he's 180, isn't he? He's not that small.
I mean, and I think you're seeing roles for these players anyway. You know, Dane Zorko's, he's not going to be a Dane Zorko, obviously, but, you know, he's not a big bloke.
You see him as that half-back flanker?
I think he could be, and I think he can defend too.
Yeah.
That's why today I was really interested to see how, you know, the Vic Metro small forwards go, because they've got, who's the other one? Cook and...
Kelly?
Candy as well.
Oh, Candy, yeah. Candy's an interesting prospect. I thought last week he butchered the ball a little bit, coming off half back. Yeah. So I want to see him again just hit some of those kicks a little bit more. But he's got genuine pace, good aerial ability as well for his size. But yeah, definitely he is one. Here he is. That's him there, isn't it?
That was Cook.
Yep. Yeah, so can play inside as well. He goes, yeah, that kick is...
So was that Marsh's second touch of the game, that goal?
It would have been, yeah. He could. He's one of those players too that he could kick a goal and then he could like light fire.
Yep. Well, it's already, you know, sparked a bit of a
That's Cumming,
momentum
I think.
Surge.
Yeah, Sam Cumming. He has a habit of doing this, like starting in the midfield, floats forward, just outworks a mid. I can see my boy Rory Wright on screen now. He really needs to get into this game. And potentially, given his positioning there, he could be playing off half-back. I think Sam Grlj has been playing a bit off half-back as well. So they're definitely mixing some players.
I don't get that.
Nah, you'd think for this, you'd just be like, okay, let's nail a position down because they have plenty of time in their talent league teams to... He's kicked that.
He's nailed it.
I like this guy. I reckon
Good kick.
He's a mover.
And that's a big kick too, you know. 2-goal lead now.
Yep. Is that his second? Let's bring up some numbers and address the chat. Kai said, missed the second half of the game yesterday. How did you rate Onley's game? Yeah, he is, Riley Onley, a very similar conversation to the one around Dyson Sharp. I think Onley's got a bit more explosiveness to him, like coming out of stoppage, but it's the ball use.
Do you rate him more than Sharp?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Just because of that, he's got a bit more punch to him. But yeah, just the usage isn't there that would sort of really put him up for me. But no, he had a good game. I think he had about 18 touches. Might have kicked a goal. I'd have to check that, but it was a solid performance, and he did some big things, like in some moments as well.
That's where numbers are deceiving. Like 18 touches in a game of AFL footy, you'd think a midfielder's not having a big day.
Yeah, but that was pretty much where, particularly the WA guys, that's where they all were. His grill.
Nice.
He's gone. Oh, well done.
Good composure. Oh,
Griller.
you know what? Like I don't mind that. It was a poor play, but that could be a.
So that was sharp inside 50 there. There's just there's rarely precision.
Yeah.
That's Taylor.
Oh, was that sharp, the entry kick?
The entry kick, yeah.
It was and you had options on leads too.
Yeah. That was the first time I've seen Taylor in this game. Just good composure there coming out. Like, he actually missed the kick in the end, but
I mean, good result.
Yeah, for sure. I went to check. Oh no, that was Cumming's first goal. So he's had 8 disposals. But you're right about the overall volume. These games are shorter than AFL games for starters.
Yes. True.
And particularly yesterday in that game, like Country possessed the ball a lot more than what WA did. Like all the numbers for the Country guys were elevated, and WA were just playing pretty direct.
Yeah,
just getting it into those forwards. Is that my boy Piker? No, he's 11.
6.
This would be
Reichelt.
Yeah, okay. He's a halfback flanker.
I actually don't know much about him. Tell me about him.
He's a rebounding defender. He good pace, good ball use, pretty much off the back half.
There you go.
Wow,
big kick from outside 50.
Both of those last 2 kicks,
big goals.
Yeah.
And you don't expect them to kick those. Like they're not just set shots. They're big kicks.
He's pretty diminutive too, isn't he? Like he doesn't look like he'd have that in him.
No, yep. Well, to be fair, I don't know who kicked it to him, but looking for options inside 50, popped up on the arc and went for him instead. So obviously, he's got it in him.
We've got 90 on the stream at the moment, so that's awesome, guys. Massive for that many people getting in, tuning into the national championships.
And again with Swade, this midfield mix is so strange.
Yeah,
Swade and Huss,
Burton.
Yep, there's no size there. Look at that.
Yeah, that is really interesting. So is that to facilitate? I'm trying to think of reasoning. Is that to facilitate like?
Oh, gee.
Wow. That shouldn't happen when you've got that many small guys in the midfield just getting stepped around.
Goal.
I haven't seen Rory Wright attend one centre bounce.
Yeah, or even not getting Greaves in there for a centre bounce like that. There is no height in that midfield.
Grill's half back. That's Grill there at the bottom of the screen.
Another goal.
Wow. Schubert.
Yep.
I don't know what that was for. Was that in the ruck?
I think he was blocking him. Yeah, in the ruck. Yep.
Yeah, interesting.
SA starting to get on top here.
Like trying to think about, I mean, you could be playing, the weird thing is that I feel Burton, Swade and El Ashkar, they all have probably more primary positions elsewhere. And then the midfielders like Grill, Rory Wright, Greaves, I'd say they're more limited to that midfield position. So they're playing elsewhere.
It is odd. Yeah. They've flipped it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you could argue there's quite a lot of small forwards in this team. You've got Tyson Gresham. So they're obviously getting him in there, but it's Jai Saxoner as well, Doveston. So, and Aaron Sharkey was at the centre bounce before, wasn't he too?
Possibly.
Plays half back for Oakland.
Yeah. It is. That's also why big names on a sheet, going into champs doesn't always mean a lot. Because I would have had the Allies to beat SA last week. They've got how many academy players or more than SA?
Definitely.
I just think SA have a really solid system and a good, rounded team.
Yeah. I gave, like last week with the Allies, I sort of gave them an out because they're a team that obviously is a multi-state team. So they're not going to get together as often as the other teams. Is that halftime?
That is halftime.
Half time. This is pretty incredible. I thought when Vic Metro hit the front there, I think they got
Yeah.
out to like a 7 or 8 point lead. I was like, they're just going to
Yep, I was thinking the same.
roll past them. And South Australia have hit back and now have a 20 point lead?
20. Quick maths.
Quick maths. 7 and 7.
No.
Felix, we're good there.
And it is that midfield. Because, I when Metro is scoring or getting territory, it's through the back half, quick hands, moving the footy up.
You called it.
SA are just winning the midfield battle for me. I don't know what the stats are saying, but, even if it is
have a
even
look
out of
at-
clearances, it feels more significant for SA.
Yeah. I mean, not that people in these kind of games genuinely really care about the team so much. Like we're more looking at it from the draft. But like inside 50s are 26
I
to
was
12.
just about to say that, yeah. 19 to 11 clearances.
Yep. So change something. put some other guys in the midfield.
Yeah.
Have a look at it at least.
Oh, it's such a strong midfield, and they're just rolling out with small forwards.
And it stacks up what you're saying because overall disposals 154 to 136 for Vic Metro. So they're possessing the ball quite a lot.
A lot in the back half, yeah.
Yep. 80 handballs to 63.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it would be even more than that, to be honest.
And 13 free kicks to 5 in favour of Vic Metro. There's your Vic bias. There it is. It's happening. So, players, let's have a look at this. The top...
Interesting game.
Yeah. Dyson Sharp has the most amount of footy on the field. He has 16 disposals and he's kicked the goal. He did kick that goal when we weren't watching.
Yeah. It could have been a very good goal.
It could have been a very good goal.
Look, to be honest, since we've tuned in, I mean, he is getting the footy.
Yep.
Just not wowing me as much. And that kind of, it's just...
Yeah, it's pretty much, for me, it's a ball use thing, really, at the end of the day. And particularly it's a ball use thing by foot. I think, generally speaking, his handball game is pretty good, opening up players into space. So he is what he is, really. I think the Clayton Oliver shout is probably a fair one. So yeah, if you rate that player right up the top, then I think that's fair enough. Captain Koch says, why is Sam Grlj not playing on ball, Felix?
Good question. I don't know. Well, why? I mean, why aren't any of them playing on ball? The big question for me is why isn't Ollie Greaves playing on ball? I don't think there's much height there at all. I think they need a presence because it does feel like, and I was saying that Duff Tytler was winning the ruck battle before, but we saw that last play with SA Ruckman.
Was that with Schubert or was that with?
No.
Oh no, that was yeah.
He just rips the ball out.
Ainsworth.
Yeah, rips the ball out of the dodges past pretty much every Vic Metro midfielder because there's no size and power in there to stop him.
There's no reach.
No, yeah, a bunch of ground level players.
I don't know if the strategy is like kind of get the ball with that ruck dominance, get the ball out wide, and then you can sort of put it into space, and then the speed sort of wins out, but.
I think you're right in that they have too many small forwards to fit in the forward line and they're trying to,
put them all on the field at once.
Yeah, and to be fair, Swade's second best position or best position is the midfield. Huss's, second.
I'm not surprised to see Swade in there.
No, I'm surprised that Huss is getting, that I don't really understand.
You'd imagine, you'd have thought that if Swade is in that midfield group, he's playing with two bigger bodied guys, it'd be Greaves and Rory Wright to kind of equal out the physicality deficit that have in there. So
because now it's just kind of exposing his weaknesses, which is his size for me.
Exactly. We've got a few questions. So we'll go back here to Noah O'Connor, who says, who looks better in their draft year, Smiley or Greaves? Felix, what do you think?
I'm trying to think of where I had Smiley this time last year because he played VFL at the end. I'm going to say Smiley.
I was going to go Greaves.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think I rate Greaves. I think I rate Greaves' composure a little bit better, and I think when he's playing midfield, which is both their primary position, I think Smiley spent a bit of time playing across half-back, where he had a bit more time and space on the ball and he looked good with his skills then, but when he played in midfield, I don't think he was as good.
Well, I was never really sold on Smiley anyway.
No, nor was I.
Yeah.
I wasn't a massive fan of him.
Whenever there's a big-bodied midfielder, playing under 18s footy, I'm always just a bit skeptical.
Yep.
And they might be doing, so much right. I'm always going to have that thought at the back of my mind. Whereas, is this going to translate to AFL footy?
Yep. And when that heat comes, do you think Smiley, the fact that he hasn't got started playing AFL yet, is a concern for you?
Nah. I mean, nah, not a concern. You'd hope he would.
Yeah.
It's a good year to blood some of these, young players. And they have had 7 or 8 debutants.
Yeah, they've had a lot. So,
but it is tough to just because I think now that he's in the AFL, there's less that he can do outside of the midfield.
Yeah,
I think you can get away with it when you're in under 18s footy, but I don't see where he's going to play if it's not midfield for Richmond in the AFL. I haven't followed him too much in the VFL though, so I don't know if he's doing anything else. But
no. I remember when he first got in, he did have a couple of games, I think, where he played a half a footy and he'd have 20 touches in a half. So he had. Yeah. It's always hard to say with the VFL though. I mean, you are playing against sort of guys that are part-time footballers at the end of the day, a lot of them, and don't have the same athleticism. So it's interesting. Will also says with Hobbs, Cordwell, Durham, Martin, Sardis, Johnson, and also Kobe Buick soon. What should Essendon be taking in the next 2 drafts? I would like them to go after key position and Ollie Greaves. Thoughts?
Yeah, good question. Well, I think we've clearly shown what we want to do in the mid-season draft, and that's take some key position players. Now the question is, when we get to the national draft, are we going to do the same? Because we'll have more. If we target key forwards, we're going to have even more on the list. I think the biggest hole for the future is probably down back, I'd say, or straight in the guts.
I was going to say, the thing that jumps out to me with Essendon as far as talent is midfield.
Yeah, but the issue is it's too stacked to be fitting in Elijah Sardis right now, and maybe he's just not up to it. But if we draft another top end midfielder, is the same thing going to happen? Because we're not even playing Dylan Shield. Darcy Parish is only playing his first game now.
So what do you put that down to then? Is that just bad recruiting, or do you think it's bad development?
It is bad recruiting. But to be fair, some of the recruitments have worked. Jai Caldwell's playing awesome footy. Durham's playing awesome footy. I think what we need to do is just cull a few of these, and many will point at Parish as a player that's tradable potentially.
For sure.
I do think we can't neglect the midfield. And I even said this last year and the year before, when we had those high picks and people in the comments were, telling us not to draft midfielders because we've got too many. It's a position that you can't really neglect because it's always going to change. And just the state of footy is always going to change and what's preferred in the AFL, which is maybe why, if we had our time again, we wouldn't draft Elijah Sardis. But I think in this draft, I don't see why we would be, going for a high-end midfielder because I can't see them coming in and,
So even with those, for you, even with those top, you're probably going to get 2 picks in the top 10. I think we can. Yeah,
but they're going to slide back anyway.
I
would be going for a young trade option. I would probably want Harley Reid over 2 or 3.
Okay, so you'd rather explore free agency and give up some picks.
I just think this draft is rounded enough that you can find talent in the later stages.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I think having high picks in last year's draft is perfect because there's so much. And even, we've made about 4 debutants from last year when we didn't have a first round pick. But this year, I just, the difference from, say, where our first pick will be maybe 10 or 12 or something to 30 or, maybe 35, I don't think the difference is going to be too high.
I agree. And I think these conversations that we're having, how much debate and sort of difference, even me and Pommy yesterday did a top 5 of this year's draft, and it was completely different other than, one, Cooper Duff, Tytler.
Well, let's hear yours. Let's do it.
Top 5 currently. I mean, this is difficult now. We're sort of watching the champs have started, and I'm going to have guys in there that probably haven't had what you think is an epic game so far. I still think, I just want to preface it with this. I still think there are types of players that are going to have big national championship games that aren't necessarily going to cross over to AFL level. So I want to just keep that. And I'm probably looking at players slightly there like Fred Rodriguez, like Dyson Sharp. They're going to be putting up bigger numbers than some of the guys that I think have traits athletically that can push up to the next level. So for me, still currently, I think Cooper Duff Tytler is the number 1 prospect, just as far as an overall prospect. Where the clubs are going to value the position, I think that's a question, but I've still got him at number 1.
I think every club takes him. Pick one.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I would. I think you've almost got. It just completely souls your ruck position for the next years. You're going to have an advantage in the ruck for the next 10 to 15 years. And I think he's so versatile anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't see him not being at least an above, like at the very worst, he's like an above average key forward.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer for me. That those players don't grow on trees. Yeah. You've then got, for me, Sam Grlj.
Okay.
I think
Number two.
Yep. I think he projects as an elite, pacey, also endurance-based midfielder. So I think he can do it all. Be a high volume, high damage, Zach Butters type player at the top level. And everybody needs that sort of player with that speed in their midfield. At 3, we're going with an open draft here, right, aren't we? So I'm trying to think of the.
Oh, I mean, include the academy.
Yeah. Where's my? Okay, I'm just getting it back. So currently at 3, I had Will Dersma on my list. I can, again, this one, I can see him slipping a little bit. I don't think I still see holes in his games. I see projection, but I'm not as convinced that it projects.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you have any worries about him?
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I'm not sold on the early stages of this draft, because I've got him in my top 5 too, but I'm not sure that he's going to be an amazing player. And if someone's in the top 5 of your draft, I feel like most years you're pretty sold that they're going to be great. Yeah. And I'm not 100% sold on Will Dersma, even though he's shown some freakish things.
I know. Yeah. It's weird to say that, but I don't see it as trustworthy and as bankable as some other players with that high end potential. But yeah, there's huge amount of traits there. Zeke Uland, I think, is as far as like in the bankable, guaranteeable, I think he's right up there. Like he's probably stiff not to be 2. He's been injured for most of this season. Yeah. I like he kicks the ball better than anyone in the draft. Right up there with a Josh Lindsay. He's a physical beast. He's so competitive. Small stature. Maybe that's the only thing you could sort of mark him down with. Just his overall physiology. But yeah, he's awesome. And then I think the next spot for me is like 50-50 with Dylan Patterson, Josh Lindsay, I would say.
Okay. Yeah. That is. I would go Duff Tytler 1.
Yep.
Zeke Uland 2.
Yep.
This is where it gets tough.
Yeah. It's like, where do you put Dersma? I feel like it's where you put Dersma is the difficult thing to place.
Well, it's a fascinating discussion because I like for 3 for me, because it's Dersma or Annabelle.
Okay.
And they're so different. I don't think Annabelle is going to be, like a Brownlow medalist or anything. I don't think he's going to completely change a team.
It's actually funny that you say that, because I reckon he will be a Brownlow medalist. But
the Brownlows, yeah. Anyone can be a Brownlow medalist. I don't think he can completely change a team. I don't. No. I think I see more potential in Willem Dersma, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
But
he could transcend the sport potentially.
Yeah,
whereas Annabelle definitely won't do that.
Yes, yeah. That's why it's so tough. And that's why it's a tough draft to judge. They're 3 and 4 for me, Annabelle and Dersma.
So who comes in next for you?
I like Josh Lindsay.
Josh Lindsay, yeah. And
I could even have him at 3. I really like him.
And I think in this draft crop, I would lean on safeness and stability a little bit more because
that's a good shout.
I just don't see that there's not as many complete players like there was last year that you could go, this guy's got high end attributes and I'm assured of all of his skill sets. Yeah. So
and it changes the team to team strategy as well, because you can't bank in this draft. You can.
Can't bank as in
you can't bank on a complete player and then go for project in these early stages because it's just so uncertain for me.
Yeah, no, that's a fair shout. Chris P said, who is your co-host today? This is the wonderful Felix from Everything Essendon YouTube channel. So it was a good collaboration today, I feel, because of the Vic Metro element to this and with those Essendon NGAs. So that's sort of to kind of talk through all of those guys. There are a few people in the comments also asking about Collingwood's NGA prospects. And I think people have asked, are they overrated? So we're talking there about, there's 3 of them in this game, actually. So there's actually more Collingwood linked players than there are.
McGuan?
6. Let's play the guessing game. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Yep. McCarthy from the Oakley Chargers and Jai Saxoner
Yeah.
as well. So
Who kicked a goal that we didn't see?
Who kicked a goal? Oh, Saxoner did. Yeah, Saxoner did. Are they overrated, those three players? Now I don't think they're overrated. I think they're kind of just rated.
I think every club's NGA prospects, aside from the Northern Academies, are overrated.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like people are talking about, and it's Vic bias, but, people aren't talking about Zeke Euland and Annabelle, or they are now. And even, Patterson enough, I don't think.
Right.
And maybe it's because they are linked to other clubs. But then, you've got fans of Collingwood and Essendon, to be fair, we're guilty of this, just hyping the crap out of these NGA prospects who are probably going to be taken in the, 20 to 30 range. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So just the Vic element.
Yeah. I think yeah.
No, it's a fair call. I don't know if they're, mate, I suppose McGuan sort of, because of the fact that McGuan is also a father-son of sort of a Collingwood legend type of thing, I think that's potential. Thomas McGuan also has that element to his game where he's a big volume guy. So he's already put up games for the Western Jets this season of like 35. I think he had a 38 game, kicked a couple of goals. I don't sort of see him in that top bracket. I don't think he'd be in the top 20. I don't know if that's what people are talking about and people saw him in that bracket. I've never had him there anyway.
No.
So I haven't sort of seen him in that top group. McCarthy, I did see that Rookie Me Central had McCarthy ranked as in their top 20. I think he was 20th on their rankings list. I thought that was
interesting.
I thought that was a little high for him, personally. And Saxoner probably hasn't had that much love anyway, but I think he's a pretty crafty little small forward. I think he's probably like a late to a rookie.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think of the three, he's probably looked the most lively today.
In this game, yeah. From what we've seen anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen a quarter in 5 minutes.
Yeah, but even when we weren't, he kicked a goal and a point.
He did. He was good on the live feed.
Yeah. He passed that eye test. No, but he's looked, energetic, crafty. So, I've been impressed with him.
100%. Cakesy said, I think McGuan doesn't have the body step to compete inside, in my opinion. I think it's a fair call. He's pretty lightly framed at the moment. He's a good loose ball player. Like he does have good reaction speed to sort of the ball comes into dispute and then he's sort of there. He's got like a nice skills, but he doesn't have like a great deal of like penetration or physicality or anything like that. And I think that's probably, it does hold him back a little bit. Like you almost think, where does he play? When he goes into the AFL, where does he play? So
yeah, well, he's had the 4 touches today.
4 touches. Yeah. And someone's put in here as well, like about Sam Grlj, 10 handballs, 0 kicks.
I think, he's playing off half back and we're seeing there's a clear directive that they want to move the ball by hand out of defence.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So that's
he has been involved in a few of those changes, to be fair.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. How has Gresham been so far?
I haven't even thought of him too much.
I think I've seen him touch the ball once in that quarter. But to be fair, what's the inside 50 count? Wasn't it? Like 25 to 12 or something? Yeah. So not a lot of ball down there. But yeah, I mean, he's had a good season so far. I think he's he's another one of those players for me that's probably on the precipice of like being late or rookie. I don't see him in that top end. Again, he's probably in that bracket of Carlton NGA. So he does get a little bit overrated, and then he's also brother of.
Yeah, well, that's the thing because he has been talked about a lot. He's someone that I think most entry level draft watchers would know.
Yep,
and that's just because of his ties to Carlton.
For sure.
Yeah, there are better players around in this draft.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. And this isn't a knock on him. I think he's like a good player, but I was a bit surprised that Ricky Theodopoulos from the Sandy Dragons wasn't named in this side, and he was. So that's an interesting one. What are your thoughts on Max Kondogiannis today? How does he stack up against other medium backs in the draft? I really like Kondogiannis. I think definitely a prototypical modern medium defender can play tall, can play small, and has good distribution out of the back. Like you look at him and Xavier Taylor, I think. Again, they've tried to move the ball a lot by hand, which Felix has talked about a lot in the stream. So those kickers and highly penetrative players probably haven't. And you can sort of see that in the fact that Metro don't have a lot of tall timber in the forward half of the ground. So they haven't really liked that long down the line kick necessarily.
Yeah, no.
Isn't Smiley injured, says Braden Crocker. He could be. He could be. I'm not.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I think he might. He definitely was injured at some stage of the year. Don't know if it's now.
Yeah. He definitely came into the season, but he's been playing. I'm pretty sure he's been playing VFL of recent times. Yeah, for sure. Shah said, watching two boys, Swadey is a tackling machine. Shit conditions. Liking them. Watching Huss and Swade in the mid together at points. What can you say about those two?
It's interesting. I thought we'd be seeing their forward level craft a bit. And to be fair, we missed the first quarter, so there could have been, more there. You can see their weaknesses on show a bit, I think. And that's not a bad thing. It's good to be able to see weaknesses in a player.
For sure.
Especially Swade, who is, primarily a midfielder. And that's a tough position. We're just about to start the second half now. Tough position to grow into if you're that size, as we see him here with ball in hand.
Grill on ball.
Yeah.
Get the grill in there. What are they doing?
Free kick to SA.
What's that for? Is that against my boy? What do you call that, a throw?
Nah, put him in the back half now.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah. Get Huss back in there. So who was it that sent about? Sam Grlj.
Swade was there yet. I didn't see a CDT in the ruck.
Still no Greaves and no Rory Wright. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Luray.
Oh, jeez.
Yucky. That's a chaos ball that could cause chaos.
Chaos, it did.
So a 20-point lead to South Australia. They win the first clearance, this time from a free kick. You can't really blame that on the working of the Vic Metro mid so much that time, but...
What's happened?
It's a lot of whistle.
Oh, it's SA free kick in front of... What's happening?
I thought it was a free.
No, never mind. It is. Jeez. Was that for that little scuffle? That is ridiculous.
Jeez.
All right. Well, another goal coming up to SA.
Yeah. I feel like this is like the third goal in a row where this has happened. And they've just pulled a free kick out of the...
Yeah, out of their ass.
Yeah. Not that I'm against South Australia winning this game. I just kind of
I honestly, I'd probably prefer it. It'd be fun.
It'd be fun, yeah.
I didn't think they'd be 2-0 coming into this champ. I thought they'd be 0-2.
Absolutely not, yeah. No, but it makes it interesting. That is Noah Roberts Thompson. I think brother of
Lewis.
Luke? Lewis Roberts. Yeah, LRT.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sydney Swans player.
Oh, brother, is it?
I think so.
Oh, gee.
Is that right?
Age gap?
Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think that is correct. There's so many comments. I'm actually struggling to get through them all at the moment, so we'll probably have to come back to some of these. Chris P says lots of pundits want last possession out of bounds. If this comes in, CDT becomes a more valuable player, but is his lack of height a concern? Why does he become more of a valuable player if there's a last touch? That's an interesting one. I'll have to think about why.
Marking target, maybe just touch off foot or.
I don't think it's off contest. I don't think it is.
Maybe
I think
that's
they
why
still ball it in.
But
wouldn't there be less stoppages, so the ruck would be less?
Yeah, I don't know actually.
Talk to me about that.
Oh.
There's Tommy McGuan in there at the moment.
I think he was starting off a wing there potentially.
He was. Yeah, he was. Someone trod on his foot, I think. Just a bit of information there. SA go forward again. Schubert. Who's got Schubert?
Nice tap.
There?
I like that. Under the legs.
That was good. Is that Piker? Piker from downtown. Oh. I think that is...
Well, now we're not going to be able to tell.
Number 11. Zane Piker.
There you go.
It's come up on the screen. My boy.
I do like him.
Yeah.
And he's another one who could really surprise in the draft order. Like a GWS. That's a GWS draft pick. Like, first round.
Late first round.
Yeah,
they just come in like, who's this guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. He's I don't think he's like right. I would be surprised if he got taken in the first round of the draft. But
to be fair, I was surprised that Angove did, and the year before that. Well, they do it every year.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose a lot of people would have been surprised even by Ollie Hannaford.
Yes.
To some degree, like how high he went. Detoli, another one who was a bit of a latecomer. Is that CDT in the ruck? Yeah, it is.
Yep. I haven't seen...
The SA ruck is killing him at the moment, like at ground level.
Oh, he was good last week too, I thought.
He was. Piker again.
Oh,
gee, I thought that was going in.
So did I. It's nowhere near. That's right. Getting involved though.
Yeah, he's getting involved. Yeah. What's his score involvements rate again? What have we got here? No way he's his brother. Cousin. They're cousins. Sorry.
Yeah, brother would have been a... Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Talk to us about that CDT one.
Well, and also, is this maybe like a... I think he's having a good game, CDT. But is this maybe a little weakness, going up against pure rucks? Because talent league, you're going to go up against some players that aren't in draft contention a lot of the time. Now we're seeing him go up against a really good ruck, and SA are really dominating this midfield battle.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. The players that I've seen him go up against in the flesh, one of the ones was Louis Emmett.
Oh, okay.
And he, in that game, he did dominate.
Who's in the chat?
Yeah, shout out to Louis. That was nothing against Louis Emmett. That was just the quality of CDT. So it is interesting. But this guy Ainsworth, he's doing a good job. I think he's particularly he's just following up really well. But I'm not seeing to be fair, the Vic Metro mids are just not. They're not on the same page. I don't know.
Even that set, I don't want to keep harping on about him, but even that set shot, just
Yeah.
Gee, this is a lead now. That has crept up, so it's now 60-27.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough to come back from.
I don't feel like their dominance has been that. That's a 33-point lead. They've doubled their score, more than doubled their score. I don't feel like the game that's quite reflective, but
as you remember, we were thinking that Vic would get out to a bit of a lead when they got those 2 goals in front.
Yeah. That was Greaves on Sharp there. Good tackle, holding the ball or incorrect disposal. Oh, who was that? Gee, that was lucky.
Yeah.
I think that's McCarthy.
That's just a mercy.
Yeah. For me, I don't have McCarthy in that top group. I was surprised to see him in a top 20.
That's the fun thing about a draft like this, though. There's going to be some,
Yeah, for sure. There'll be some disparity for sure between different lists and whatnot. Forward half stoppage for Vic Metro, 6.5 minutes gone in the third quarter. They really need a goal here.
Yeah,
someone's got to stand up. Where is Rory Wright?
Here we go.
Suede. Was that Suede?
It was.
Out on the full.
Yeah, that's right.
I will say one thing about Rory Wright. I know that he has played a lot of football this year.
Okay. Over too much, you think?
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that I just haven't seen him out there, I think he could be being managed on the bench quite a bit.
And that is always a risk at this age.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the issues around potentially the combination of talent league football, and he plays for Caulfield Grammar, and they're a big chance this season to win the APS footy. So they're putting a lot of football into him, and he's a player that's come from a cricketing background. So he hasn't really done a little bit like Sam Lawler from last year. He hasn't done a full preseason of football, or at least coming into this year was probably the first time that he did do one. And I think he is getting to the point where he's quite burnt out.
And it is just it goes that it is a tough sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And he hasn't missed a week of football the entire year. So Greaves.
Was that McCarthy in the ruck?
Yes. Yeah, it was. Greaves on ball.
Good hands. Here we go.
Greaves just looks so much better in there.
Yeah, he does. I think that's just the go now for the rest of this game.
Yeah.
And they're already getting territory here.
For sure. He's just imposing. They're on here. There's McGuan.
I like the idea, though. Trying to keep it going forward. Just
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They just need a goal here. 8 minutes gone in the quarter. I'll have a look at the chat. Chris P. Jonty Ralph-Smith suggesting average height of AFL rucks is 204 centimetres. Less stoppages from throw-ins, I think, may increase CDT value.
Oh, okay. So more mobile, using rucks in open play a lot more.
It's a good point. It's a good point. CDT, absolutely a transition player. You're not necessarily... You aren't getting him to, I guess, dominate ruck taps.
Oh, he's not doing that here, I don't think.
No. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah. And it's also, if that is the case, if that does happen, big if, but it would take away the need for dual rucks. Having rucks at rest forward would be really.
I definitely see
valuable.
rucks in general in the AFL particularly in the last 5 years with the ruck rule changes. Like they're getting smaller.
What's he picked out a free there for?
I don't know. That's Noah Dorr that's picked that ball up. That's
what is
Roberts Thompson again.
50 meters? All right. Big lead. I did not think it was going to turn out this way.
No.
So SA have just gotten a 50 meter.
I think it's 15 in this.
Okay.
So not 50.
You know what? I don't mind that.
So it gives Noah Dorr, another medium defender. A lot of medium defenders in this draft crop. Gives him an opportunity. I thought he had a really good game last week. A chance to hit the scoreboard for the key defender. Comes in. And no. That didn't even make the distance. Schubert's marked it on the line.
That is poor defending.
You'd have to say, like, as much as the umpiring sort of frustrated me with some of these free kicks, but like Vic have clearly been sloppy.
Yeah, no, To be fair, SA have looked good. They're just capitalising.
Yeah. Some of those goals. I mean,
those set shots from outside 50.
Who was the second one?
It was.
Oh, it was not Dulwich. It was.
Was it? No, it wasn't Barker.
Reichelt.
Oh yes, Reichelt.
Yeah, that was a huge goal from downtown. The Cumming goal was probably from around 50 by the time he came in as well. Schubert kicks that. What do they kick? 10 goals 6 to probably 3 goals 10.
They're just making the most. Here we go.
4-4.
But to be fair, the chances Vic Metro are getting are not.
They're not good chances.
No,
yeah. I'm glad to see Greaves in at that centre bounce. I think that looks a lot better.
Or who's that on the other side? Oh, no, that's McCarthy on the right. Oh, no, that's CDT,
that's CDT.
On the right.
It's Swade on the left. It's Grlj on the right. And it's Greaves.
That makes sense.
That's a nice mix. Jai Saxon has come up to a wing.
Yep. Oh, nice.
Duff Tytler down to Greaves straight away. He goes Grlj.
Yeah, that looks so much better.
Oh, why haven't we seen that?
Here we go.
Hunter Holmes snaps on the right.
Oh, hits the post. Much better though, and that's hard to defend. Even the entry kick from Grlj was
deeper.
Poor. Yeah, but it was to a place where if it comes to ground, it's dangerous.
Yeah,
that's all they've needed to be doing.
Yeah, Reichelt looked pretty good here. It was still
good.
Still worked here. That's Odashin Benia. I think it's how you pronounce it. Another hyphen surname. He's looked pretty good in this game at times.
And see how much easier it is for SA to. Oh, never mind.
Commentator's curse.
This could be a goal here for
Just
Vic
Taylor.
Metro.
That's your boy. That's Huss. Outside of the right.
Oh, 2 posters in a row.
They're getting better shots though.
Yeah,
now.
no, this is better.
Yep.
10 minutes left in the quarter though. They got to act.
Who'd have thought
quick.
that putting your best midfielders in the midfield would have made you look better? Oh dear. Got the live stream in the chat. If anybody wants to watch, just click on that link. Casey says, Shocker, put your class midfielders inside and you win centre clearances. Yeah.
Huge downfield free kick here. I don't know. All the way in SA's forward line.
What's going on there?
Oh, my. Okay. Yeah, so that started from a kick out. That was paid as he was kicking from the kick out, and it's now a mark inside 50 for SA.
Again, you'd love to have if Fox were doing this game, you'd at least have
the replays right now. Yep,
exactly. Just to see what happened. We've got no idea what's happened there, but I assume somebody downfield's I don't know, for striking or something.
Yeah,
but
it would have to be bad for it to be that. You don't just
no.
Well, this is
that
wow.
Win.
Mitch
Marsh comes in from the free kick and the wind fully caught that ball. Do you think the way that he kicks the football is very similar to Aaron Cadman?
I see it, left footer. I also think that, the wind is obviously bad, but that was just a poor kick for the conditions.
Yeah, no one's kicked it that.
Yeah, that was that ball was always going to float.
It's like it didn't have any. When
no punch.
Even a player as bad as me in football, but when you get that, you throw a little bit of grass up, you get the wind, and you kind of you go, okay, I'm going to have to punch this like really low. He's just not done that. Rory. Oh, he's caught.
He's got it out at least.
That's the lack of pace.
Gee.
So that's an area where he can be exposed.
Yeah.
Tommy McGuan.
And transition is so important.
For sure.
So that's probably why I don't have him high.
No,
it's as much.
I get it. I feel like a large amount for me with Rory Wright is based on his moments, games that I've watched him play a lot live, and I almost like it's attitudinal for me. Like I feel like when games are like on the line, he's a player that stands up a lot. I feel like he just hasn't been on the field in this game quite a bit.
Another mark inside 50 for SA. So just as
Sharp again.
Playing up forward.
Yeah.
That wasn't through transition. He was just in there. Just as Vic Metro, start getting a bit of control, SA have another shot on goal.
The scoreboard's just against them now. Like with 25-minute quarters, I feel like they're going to be massively up against it.
Yeah, I don't see them winning this. And Sharp has nailed it.
I think so.
Nice. Second of the game.
Straight over the goal umpire's head.
Good.
I mean, he's had a solid game.
Yeah, yes.
Absolutely.
Happy about it.
Rad Mazray says, still getting outdone by a 198 centimetre ruckman is a red flag. I don't think he's getting outdone. Talking about CDT.
Yeah.
I assume there.
I think he's losing the battle, but it's not, it's not horrific.
Yeah. People talking about the umps, just a lot of whistle blowing going on. I don't know what happened, so it's hard to say. Rory Wright's going on ball here. I hope it's Greaves. It's Swade in there again.
And that's McCarthy in the ruck now.
It is.
This is
we get to see a bit of Rory Wright's stoppage work at least. WTF downfield again. Yep. If Richmond don't use 1 or 2 picks for Reed, who do you think they take at this point?
So what are their picks? They've got is it 2 and 3?
Well, this is the question, isn't it? Because go Rory. Come on, Rory. Not his best disposal. Oh, Gresham, what was that? So their picks.
Good tackle.
Yeah, it was a good tackle actually. That's on Reichelt as well.
Yep.
So currently they're at pick 2 and 3, so North Melbourne and their pick. But if West Coast get Oscar Allen compensation, you'd suggest that it would be pick 2, which pushes them back to 3 and 4. So we'll say that's likely, and we'll go on that, will we?
Yeah.
So 3 and 4,
which probably becomes like 6 and 7.
Yeah. Interestingly, but
also CDT West Coast.
Yeah,
we can just rule him out.
Yep.
Pick 2 is tougher.
Yeah, a lot of West Coast fans want. I don't get this, but a lot of West Coast fans want Dyson Sharp at 2. They want CD.
Is that the interstate factor?
I think so.
Yeah, I would be really surprised if he's picked 2.
Yeah, so would I. Incredibly surprised. And I don't really like. I get that there's this thing of like Vic Metro players go home, but I don't know. Just like try and.
Well, you've got another one coming to the club. You may as well try and, Gold Coast with Rowell and Anderson. You may as well try and build a connection with those two.
Yeah, exactly. Back yourself in. Just good transition play here from South Australia. Mitch Marsh on the end of it again.
Go for goal.
Yeah, have a shot. This is turning into a bit of a.
This is a bloodbath. This is brutal.
Yeah. So who? Okay. So spin it around. Who would you? Your West Coast list manager, your recruiter. Who would you take?
Okay. Yeah. CDT. I think not who I'd take because it'd be different, but I think the safest option to for this discussion for Richmond is probably Dersma, pick 2.
Yeah.
I think he's probably most people's pick 2. So if CDT and Dersma are gone, who do Richmond take?
Yeah. That's, I don't know. I feel like for West Coast though. Yeah, sorry, we're talking about Richmond. I said West Coast. I feel like if West Coast came out of this draft with CDT and Will Dersma, it'd be so much like unsurety with like the way that they play still. It'd be like, I don't know, it'd be so not.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's Huss.
Oh, I like that.
But fair point. So then available, you're talking about players like that you're talking about Ewland and Annabelle in there at the mix as well.
Yep.
Patterson, but you're talking probably Grlj. You're talking Lindsay.
I'm sold on Lindsay to Richmond. That's the one that
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I would really, if I'm Richmond, I'd want Josh Lindsay.
Yes.
Yeah, Josh Lindsay. I get Xavier and Josh confused.
Yeah,
back-to-back drafts.
Back-to-back drafts. Kind of similar, level, similar players as well. Both big country as well.
Yeah. Similar range in the draft.
Yeah. Lindsay played a lot at halfback too.
Very close to the man on the mark there. Did a huss and looks like it's out on the full. No, a point. Snuck in.
He generates a lot of shots. Saying he can be a little bit profligate at times.
Yep. I don't mind that at this level though. I'm just looking.
You'd
at
rather
shots.
the chance creation.
Yeah.
I do think though if you can it's nice to be able to see that a player is clutch.
Yeah, or even so, I don't know if you would have focused on the VFL much last week, but he made his debut for Essendon, had 4 touches, kicked 3 goals, but one of those goals was a set shot to put Essendon in the lead with about maybe like 5 or 10 minutes left.
Love that.
And wasn't it? Oh,
that is Piker though. Go Piker.
Keep going. Oh, good tackle.
Oh, great tackle by Taylor.
Yeah, that's great.
Here's Contagianis getting on the ball a bit. I want to see a bit more from Taylor. Like we haven't seen.
Yeah.
It's not like he's really even had much of a chance.
No.
There's Maguire.
Oh, I like Piker. I just like the way he goes about it.
Yeah, me too.
He's really scrappy.
Yeah. Bit of I don't know, like a Lockie Schultz about him.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, that was Cook, wasn't it? Your boy?
Yep.
Number 2. Oh, he's giving
away the free kick.
Yeah, see, that's what you're talking about.
Oh, there we go. And he's given it 50.
Yeah.
Yep. He heard me. They've got us tuned in.
They've got us tuned in. We've taken over the broadcast. I agree with you. So I reckon Josh Lindsay to Richmond at pick 3 would be right on the cards. And then I'd be surprised probably if they didn't take... They won't take Greaves, I don't think.
No, you don't need him.
To be honest, in that scenario, if Dersmer and CDT were off the board, I think Richmond would snap up CDT if they could. He's missed that as well, Greaves.
What, you think trade up to...
Oh, no, like if he wasn't there, he won't be.
Oh, right, yeah.
He won't be.
Oh, yeah, I think any club would have to.
I don't think Richmond will trade up.
No.
And I suppose there's also an argument that Richmond will get in, if Harley Reid becomes available, Richmond would get in on that.
Yeah.
But no, I think they'd probably take Grlj and Lindsay. And I think that's actually worked really well with their overall strategy because last year they went really sort of big-bodied, high upside, high octane players and key position players as well. And then they've then you get left this year where there's more of those just sort of ground level.
Oh, is that Marsh? Gee,
yep.
All right.
Poor defending.
Yes.
Who was his direct opponent then? I think that was Barker.
It was, I think it might have been, was it 29?
Oh, Marin.
Was it 29?
Jacob Marin. Could have been. Yeah, that'd be my take on it anyway. I'd be surprised if Richmond traded up.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got 2 and 3, even in a compromised draft, it's, do you trade up? Is CDT worth losing 2 top players for?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Someone said, Felix, can you do a water review? I have no idea what that's in relation to. Is it just because you have a glass of water?
It must be a fan of the channel.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that something you do?
Yeah, not specifically water.
What's going on there? Just getting weird.
I just like drinking.
Do you do?
Yeah, so I in my player ratings videos, my long ones, I take drink breaks and I get my community to give me a drink that I haven't tried before. So the most recent one was I don't know if he's in the comments, but Keith, who's very prominent in my comments section, recommended Scotch.
Combined, so alcoholic drinks too.
Oh, not always. I've had a few iced coffees. Scotch combined with orange and mango juice.
Right.
Which I don't like Scotch, but that was actually a decent shout.
Really?
Yeah.
So wait, say that again. Scotch with
orange and mango juice.
It sounds hideous.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I wasn't keen to try it.
Just to cut you off here, a player that we have really not discussed at all today, Archie Ludovic, takes a mark inside 50.
Yeah, it has been a quiet day for him actually. Yeah.
Very quiet. I'm
not
surprised.
really his fault, to be fair.
No, they haven't put the ball inside 50 much, or with really much dynamism at all in this game, have they? I reckon his stats are low.
Yeah. Well, if Metro want a chance of winning this, he has to kick this. Not that they can win anyway.
He's not the best set shot.
Short, yeah. And look, even that, how is no one on the line there?
Yeah.
That is crazy. I think there are, maybe some issues between the ears for Vic Metro here a bit. They're, giving away free kicks, sloppy things like that, even in defence on the line. They're just not really...
I feel like this is the most obvious. I didn't feel like allies last week as much as I did. I said I gave them that out. Burton looking really nice there.
He's got to kick it.
Yeah.
Too far?
No, that's the
25
quarter.
Minutes,
yeah. Like the allies last week, they lost that game, and I gave them an out for the fact that they don't get to train together and be together and have that connectivity. But I don't think I've seen. There was nothing about that performance. I went, they're doing this wrong, particularly. You know what I mean? It's just probably a bit of a connection thing. Metro look a little bit all over the show.
Yeah, there's clearly disconnect.
Yeah. No connection between the forwards and the midfield. They clearly were trying to get that handball game going off the half back, and they probably had a couple.
It looked good when it was working.
Yeah. I feel like the midfield thing, maybe it is a bit of a game management thing for players like Greaves and Rory Wright potentially, but that's been a bit odd.
And that's the thing with these matchups. The coaches of Vic Metro obviously want to win, but they're not really allowed to rest big names or they probably are, but clubs will want these guys playing. There's clearly they're playing to improve the draft positions of some players as well. So it does make team matchups a bit iffy at times. But this is clearly just a well-structured, connected South Australia versus a star-studded Vic Metro who's not quite figured it out.
And they've just put them to the sword, really.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
It is pretty brutal. Okay, if you haven't seen this, have a guess who is the top disposal getter for the game. First of all, I'll give you team. What team is it?
SA midfielder probably.
No.
Is that Vic Metro defender?
It is.
Who's even had the ball out of there?
You're actually. I don't even know why I'm doing this because you're not going to get it.
No?
It's Kai Fincher.
Oh, how many? 23. We have not even said his name yet.
I know. It's incredible. He is a St Kilda NGA prospect. He plays halfback flank for Sandringham Dragons in the Coates Talent League and now for Vic Metro. I can't say that I've noticed him being a threat from the halfback or anything like that. Maybe I haven't sort of been tuned into the number that he's wearing, but 23 disposals, 15 kicks, 8 handballs, 4 marks, and a tackle. Interesting.
And Dyson Sharp second.
Yep. 2 goals, 22 touches. So not exactly doing his stock.
I'd say Greaves, who's got 19 touches, probably when he's impacted the game, I've noticed him the most. He has shifted that midfield around.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think he's clean, isn't he, when he gets in there?
That is surprising.
Yeah.
I would not have picked that.
And then the next for Vic Metro is Aaron Sharkey.
Yeah.
Again, halfback flanker. He played a little bit on ball at the beginning of the game. Sam Cummings kicked 2 goals for SA, had 14 touches. I think he's been pretty impressive. Schubert's been a target down there. Matt Leray with 13. I've liked little Jim Kelly. 12 disposals in this game. I thought he was pretty good in the last game as well. He's not dominating. I see him, though, being able to come into an AFL team and I potentially see him as that little high half forward, similar to a Josh Dolan.
Yeah, okay.
Very skinny, good runner. Just good skills.
What's surprising me, or it's not surprising because we've been watching the game, but I'm going into it, you wouldn't think that, Rory Wright, 7 touches, Burden, 9 touches, Grlj, 12. Touches don't mean everything, but they're not getting a lot of the footy.
Rory Wright hasn't impacted the game at all in this one. Absolutely not at all. Ludovic, that was the first time he's had 5 touches, but the first time I've noticed
I think he had a set shot in the second quarter, which kind of veered left. That's all I really remember from him.
Rory Wright, the question that I would have to ask is, where has he been? Has he been just playing in a position that we haven't seen? But I just haven't seen him on the field very much.
Yeah, and when he's on the field, it's pretty far after a stoppage when everyone's kind of
he's
muddled around. So
I feel like he only started to come into the centre bounces late in that game. Jack Ison, who is another Carlton NGA prospect, I haven't seen him at all. He's had 7 touches.
Is he a father-son?
No, he's a NGA, I believe.
They had a few yesterday as well, didn't they?
Yes. So they had Cody Walker.
Yep.
Bottom ager though. And they had the defender. Oh, I've forgotten his name. Key defender.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it. How have you seen some of those defenders, Conda Giannis and Xavier Taylor? What have you thought of their game so far?
Yeah, I mean, the issue is when the ball's down there, it's SA causing a bit of chaos. So even that last play with Taylor, where he affected a nice tackle on Piker, you'd think that's his moment to calm down, get a bit of composure in the game, but he just gets hounded. And I think SA have done really well to kind of stem any composure from Vic Metro rebounding, because even when they've rebounded well, it's been through those chaos forward hand passes.
For sure.
So it probably has, affected players like Taylor a bit.
Yeah, and there hasn't been many like genuine one-on-ones, I feel. Like I haven't seen, it's not like the ball's come in and you've had like Schubert v Taylor or Conda
And if
Giannis.
there are ones, they're being won by South Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to me about Piker, because I love him.
Yeah, no, I do like him.
You're coming around, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know too much about him until I think I tuned in last week to your Allies stream and I heard you mention his name a bit and I was like, all right, I'll watch. He's got like 8 or something touches, but obviously he's getting a bit of hype. I missed the first half of the game because I was golfing, and then I watched it again.
I was golfing.
A few days later, I came back and watched it again, and I was looking out for him, and it is just high impact. Every time he's around the footy, there is something happening, and that's such a basic way of talking about it. There he is in the ruck again. Jeez,
bloody Ainsworth! Oh, Sharp. He just got barefished there.
Yeah,
that
is rough.
Yeah. That was Duff Tytler getting, but Ainsworth is playing a game.
Yeah. So even that, great body work.
Yep. Not outdone.
And here he is, look, second effort. I'm going to keep a bit of an eye on him now.
Harley Barker, I think he's had a pretty solid game. Like went out of it a little bit. Oh,
who was that?
That was Marin, I think. Or, no, it wasn't. Sorry. It was Barker.
Right.
Andrew Barker from the Eastern Rangers.
Someone I was hoping to see. He came into the squad late, so I'm not surprised that he's not playing. But Jackson Barber from
the Quarter Cannons. Yeah, I thought, is he injured or
no? I don't think so.
Didn't get.
Yeah, he was a late inclusion, and I guess they do have a few, or they're happy with this smaller mix.
Yeah. No, I was surprised not to see him. I feel like for a big, strong key defender, he's pretty good with ball in hand as well.
Yeah, I think he's just reliable. And that's a perfect player to have at champs. Someone who's, maybe not bashing the door down for a AFL list spot, but someone who's just, going to do a job for you.
Yeah.
I think he would have been good in a game like this.
I feel like another player that's mainly, again, because he's an NGA, there goes Grlj to Wright. Nice. My boys, combining Xavier Bammett. Kellaway has been a bit quieter in this game.
Yes. Oh,
he's just making some mistakes by foot today, Duff Tytler. I feel like Ainsworth potentially has rattled him a little bit.
Yeah. He is well and truly winning the ruck battle. I would like to see a stats comparison of the two, actually. I might just have a...
Yeah. I think look at it. He's grabbed the ball out of the ruck there, Ainsworth again.
And that's the thing, right? There's you can win hit-outs, but when you start, getting proper ruck clearances, that's when you know that you're on top.
Yeah.
So Duff Tytler is actually winning the hit-outs.
Interesting.
But I think the impact is all on...
The thing is with hit-outs these days, there's the way that you can win a hit-out, you're not able to use your vertical leap as much to win a hit-out anymore. Like it's so much more of a wrestle.
Yeah.
So it suits those stockier, stronger type players. I feel like that's why you've seen these guys.
Like Lloyd Meek.
Yeah, Meek, Sherry, Darcy, like this type of ruckman.
And there was that rule change.
Yeah.
That really, yeah.
That did it.
That was Reeves and Meek. You know, Reeves was the number one ruck.
And it just completely...
Just completely because of a rule change.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It was basically being able to, like, as I understand, and I don't know that much about ruckcraft to be fair, but like before that you couldn't like put an arm up, and essentially just that change of being able to do that turned it into a wrestle.
Well, he does look bigger, to be fair. And looking at the stats, it is actually pretty even. Like the stats would suggest CDT's having the better game. I just think when Ainsworth is, you know, getting one of those clearances, there's so much more damage from them.
Yeah.
Yep. Stats can be deceiving.
SA are doing a really good job. Just even then.
Why keep that in?
I feel like Vic Metro, when they win a clearance, they can't like chain out.
Yeah. Oh, what even happened? Did he kick it into him?
That was Kellaway. Yeah.
I mean, the intensity's a bit better from Vic Metro this quarter.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's just...
Still looks like...
Numbers popping up.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the first intercept mark I think I've seen from Vic Metro. That's Condagianis.
And he's probably been the best of the defenders.
I think so. Yeah. Here's Rory Wright getting on the ball. But like they can't even that see. It's like it's pretty much a dump kick.
It works, but it's not, you know, you're not coaching for that.
No. They need more movement like coming through the stoppage.
Yep. Maybe that's what they were trying with Huss and Swade. You know, maybe they saw it as a weakness that we wouldn't have picked before and
perhaps.
Tried to, yeah, but I mean,
almost like we'll put a couple of little guys in there with fast feet, and they've got bigger guys like Dyson Sharp, a bit immobile. Didn't really work for them though.
To be fair, you know, Vic Metro have been poor, but this SA team are looking so much better than anyone could have imagined.
For sure. 100%.
Dofferston, he's been pretty
just
quiet since.
No time and space.
Oh, I like that.
Even that, like Bammett, just can't get...
Yeah, and that was so composed from Greaves to get it to him as well.
Yeah.
You know, like, he's been their best.
Yeah, absolutely. Noah O'Connor says, Kellaway looks to have a lack of confidence. I've seen about 10 times he's had the ball on the ground.
What was he like last week? I'm trying to remember.
He was solid. I feel like he does, like that's a good way to put it, I think. Like he gets the ball and sometimes like he does look a bit pressured, a bit like he's got to get rid of it straight away. But he can win the ball for sure. I think again, it's like that polish on the outside. Good drink recommendation, vodka, comma, 0 pulp, orange juice and Coke. That sounds disgusting.
Horrific, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you're setting us up there.
Noah O'Connor, that's not real, surely.
No.
Yeah, can't vouch for that.
Yep.
McGuan, far better. How many disposals for that quarter was it? At least 8, I reckon. In the third, I assume that was. Yeah, I didn't... I noticed him more, for sure.
Yeah, he was up and about.
Look at Cumming's movement there, getting that ball out. I think he's a serious player.
It was almost better than Taylor.
They're looking a little bit better in that back 50 at just like helping each other out there, the Vic Metro defenders. Do you know if clubs measure wingspan like they do in the NBA? Nate Caddy seems like he has extra long arms. I do think that they do. That's not
just not public.
It's not public, but there's so much data that we don't see, like particularly... that was Rory Wright there, my boy.
And also the Greaves, he didn't even take possession in his left to get that hand pass out. Just like tapped it into his other hand. It was
that was clever.
Yeah.
I think as well, like one of the things that we look at the combine figures, like, oh, this guy can run a 2K time trial in blah, 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 whatever speed like this. But the thing that the recruiters are looking for with the GPS data that they get is how long they run at high speed for. So those metrics like 2K time trial, while they're handy, they don't really exactly tell us that they can repeat sprint and get that high end velocity with for long periods of time and stuff. So they're looking at all of that kind of stuff too from there. I
zoned out because has someone brought a yoga ball to the game?
In the crowd?
Yeah, did you see that? He was just kicking around a yoga ball.
That'd be pretty...
well, I don't even know how you get your hands on one.
Sharp again with the inside 50 kick.
Well, now there it is in the background. All right.
Oh, yes, in the background. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Is it yeah? It looks like a bowls club.
This is why you tune into these streams.
Yeah. We bring We bring the pro commentary. Definitely, like the sting is well and truly out of this game, isn't it? Like
for me, it's just about how they can manage, and that's the fun thing about these games. You know, in an AFL match, it's done. It's just about either managing the scoreboard or moving around the magnets. But for these guys, they're still playing for a spot on an AFL list, so they're not gonna give up. Like they obviously want to win, but it is more about just performing for a lot of these guys.
Yeah. I think it probably is as well. Another thing that recruiters would look at in periods of games like this, like we talk about the clutchness of games, like when the game's on the line to win, but also like who's still playing now.
Yeah. Well, that's why Greaves has impressed me, because he's probably the only Vic Metro player that's really properly
hammering it home.
Yeah. Don't pay it high. Don't do it. Oh, they do.
Yeah, they always get sucked in, don't they?
Good kick.
That's Sharpie. On the transition. That's Kellaway, I think.
He had more time there.
Yeah.
That he barely had control of the ball in his hands when he kicked it.
It's a funny kicking action as well.
Yeah.
Kellaway.
Oh, you were talking about that earlier, weren't you?
Yeah. Like it just doesn't. It never looks like it's going to go well. Also, Burton.
And that is just.
They just cannot get anything going.
I'm interested to see how they go next week. Are they playing next week?
Yeah, I think so. Let's have a look.
Oh, good mark.
Who's that?
Is that Reichelt again? No.
Nah. That was a
2022,
was it? O'Brien. I don't know much about him.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you. Well, he took a nice mark.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the...
Oh, so
no, it's not. Sorry. So
I'll head out to that game.
You'll be there.
Yeah, I may as well.
Back at Alberton, SA versus Western Australia. That'll be for that time. That'll be the two undefeated teams.
Yeah,
that could be. So either South Australia or Western Australia will go into the fourth round, week 4, which is a double header.
Has he marked that?
That is, I reckon, the third time. That's Mitch Marsh again.
That can't be marked. I mean, impressive.
Oh, no, it's not Marsh. It's Nan.
Oh, okay.
Cameron Nan. He's a pretty good player too, actually. Been quiet in this one.
Impressive mark, but that has to be has to be killed.
And it's not as if with those marks on the line, it's either been Schubert, it's been Marsh, it's been Nan.
Yeah.
Like it hasn't been one guy that's killing you. It's just they're just switching off. That's really strange. So round 4 is when it gets really interesting. So that's going to be Vic Country and SA at Marvel, followed by the Allies and Western Australia.
Are you going to head out to that one?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's actually interesting because I want to keep these streams going for all the games, but I feel like that one I'll have to go and watch. I'll just get a bit
Marvel more. Vibes are just going to feel, It
feels like the AFL.
Yeah.
I went to the last year. I went to the Country Metro.
Oh, that would have been good. Yeah,
that was it was epic. Like it was actually epic, that game. One of the best games of footy.
Who kicked the goal?
It was Luke Trainer, 50-metre penalty.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
it was
Trainer.
Yeah, and did the.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
So I reckon I'll definitely go to that. And given that it's a double
pay
header,
that.
Is that our boy Taylor? No, it's not Taylor. I don't know who that was. That's McGuan. And then there's the week after that again. They'll be backing up in Melbourne. So Allies and Country at Icon Park. Western Australia, Vic Metro will be in Western Australia. So still plenty of football. So yeah, Metro actually have a break after this. We'll head back and see how the stats are coming along. Dyson Sharp, 29 touches he's had now.
I honestly, that is surprising. But he is one of those players.
He is. Yeah. He is.
Good.
I would have to say, though, and this is going to sound like to people that are fans of Dyson Sharp, this will sound strange, but I don't think today's game for me has elevated him.
No, yeah. I mean, I've still got him around that later first round stage anyway.
Yeah.
Don't know what's happened here. 50-minute penalty.
50-minute. There's been so many in this game.
That's us. But what are we talking about? Oh, Dyson Sharp. Yeah. Yeah, it is going to sound like we're just harping on about, Sharp. I do like him. He's a first round contender in my eyes.
Can I just say as well, there is zero part of me with the Dyson Sharp thing that it's Vic bias. I'm Tasmanian. People say I'm Vic bias sometimes. I'm not Vic bias. Like
I'm South Australian.
You're South Australian. Yeah, exactly. It's not a it's just a football thing.
All right, come on.
Come on, Huss. Do you slightly not want this to go through because you want him to have lower numbers?
Well, there you go.
A bid?
No, I'd like one goal. that he's got to kick that. That's really poor.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Door brings it out. They've just been way too good, South Australia today. UCAT says Dyson Sharp is different gravy. I wouldn't agree with that necessarily, but yeah, 29-2.
He's definitely one of the better midfielders in this draft. I wouldn't say he's one of the best midfielders in this draft. It's so clear that he's going to get drafted.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be, trading up the order to get him like I would for someone like, say you've got pick 15's on the board, someone's choosing. You trade up to get someone like a Mitch Marsh or, someone of that caliber. I wouldn't be trading up to get a Dyson Sharp.
Yeah, he's not a POD.
Yeah.
For sure. Someone in the chat said... Someone gave... they haven't marked it again, Schubert again.
There was about 30 players in that pack.
Wow. They have just...
And that looked effortless.
Yeah.
I wish they showed replays because he doesn't even... I don't even think he leaves the ground.
I feel like the lack of concentration from this Vic Metro team has been quite staggering. Someone in the comments here, Joel Falcon, has just said, someone gave Pritis comparisons to Sharp. I see similarities. Seems like a dependable type, just nothing that stands out.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Won a Brownlow as well. Yeah. So, I mean, Dyson Sharp could win a Brownlow. Yeah. We were talking about Annabelle with the Brownlow. Never mind. But yeah, like he's one of those, and you're not trading up the order to get Matt Pritis. He's just a really good midfielder.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be a bit of a force for you at stoppages and stuff like that. But I'd definitely be. I think the thing is, like, stoppage work, players can improve that really quickly. I think that's one of the things that when you come into the AFL system, look at someone like Finn Callahan, who's
even the last year or two, just completely elevated because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Ed Richards, has become one of the best stoppage players in the competition, and he's got all of those other traits as well from the different positions. I think that's sort of what you can get above someone like a Dyson Sharp. But very interesting conversations. People, what's your top 3 sides in the carnival? Do you mean the teams? I suppose you mean, like you said, sides. So coming into it, I thought Vic Metro would win. Yep. I thought the Allies would be second, and I probably thought SA would be third.
I was thinking country, to be honest.
I forgot about country.
I think my picks have just gone completely the other way.
It's not looking good, is it?
No.
Well, Allies have lost their only game. Vic Metro have lost their only game, and Country.
Allies. Oh, yeah.
So it's a shambles.
Yeah,
it's an absolute shambles. I would have. Yeah, I reckon I would have probably coming in had.
Oh, gee, is that Marsh? Who is that?
Nah, Marsh is congratulate. I think it's Nan again.
I tell you what, there is some impressive marking in that forward half now.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it? Yeah, it is. So he's bobbed up in this last quarter and looked threatening as well. There's an element that Metro have definitely shut off.
Yeah, 100%. But they look so much worse than I thought they would. So now the question is, because they said who was your top 3 going in? You said Metro, Allies.
Yeah, probably Country.
Country,
maybe
SA. Who's your top 3 now? So if you're betting on who's going to win this tournament, as Nan misses to the right.
It feels like the formula for me of South Australia is get the ball. One player that is Candy playing.
Yeah, we talked about Cook, but
where's Candy?
I think
he's playing.
Yeah,
I did disposals.
Yeah, but Cook's probably.
I was just going to say that the formula for South Australia winning both of these games to me has been stoppage dominance, get it in quickly to.
That was really clever.
The likes of Schubert, Marsh.
There we go.
There it is, McCarthy on the end of that one.
Well, who was that little soccer along the ground?
We don't get replays. I see these games too. Like I have to watch them back.
Yeah.
While we're doing this, like as much as it's great to watch it along. You lose concentration at times.
Well, I was looking at a beach ball for half of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what we do. So South Australia, that formula seems to be working. Who have they? I mean, they've played 2 games now. They've knocked out Allies. They've played, well, not knocked them out, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Metro. Who have they? I mean, they've just beaten the best 2 teams. So probably them.
Yeah, I mean, it would be pretty on brand to then go out and lose against WA and country though.
Didn't they got absolutely pumped by WA last year, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the week before or the week after they just had a big win.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to remember.
They beat the Allies in game 1, which was a pretty impressive win. Not that the Allies probably weren't as strong, but
nice hands.
Rory.
And look, a chaos kick going in, but I mean,
well, that's really how they should have been going in with their forward line.
That is
McCarthy.
even more of a chaos kick.
There's
good tackle. Oh,
they haven't handled the conditions very well at all, have they?
No, and you'd think that they'd be better suited to them.
People are asking for our 3-2-1 in this game as well.
Couldn't tell you. I mean, all right. So
let's look at the goals.
Look, okay. Do we have to give Dyson Sharp some love? No, I wouldn't have him in my 3. I'd have him like in the best players column.
See, this is what I think is a good opportunity to break this down. I would have Dyson Sharp in my best players in this game, but that doesn't necessarily rise his draft stock for me. I see those as 2 different things.
Oh, actually, yeah. I feel like it's a player like Sharp. It is so easy to criticize them in open play because their flaws show, and that's when you're really focusing on one player.
Yeah,
but his contest work is
he's misused the ball tons today.
Yeah, yes, but his contest work is just it's like on another level to some of these some of his opponents.
Yeah. There's for me, as far as like who are the best players in this game, there's no Vic Metro players.
Yeah, I'd have Greaves like around the mark, but yeah, it's only really just the second half that I've really properly noticed him.
I'm looking at the goal kicker. So 3 goals to Schubert.
To be fair, he was on about 7 touches at quarter time when we didn't see him, so he could have had a huge start.
He must have had a huge start to the game for sure. There's Grlj.
50-man penalty.
Giving away a 50. That has just been the story of the day. I really liked Piker's game. Piker's kicked 2.
Yeah, he's been good.
12 disposals. I'll have a look at the advanced stats on that. He's had 5 score involvement, so not as many as last week.
After Dyson Sharp, who do you think's had the most clearances for SA?
Ooh. Is it not Kelly? Cook, is it?
It's Cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not surprised by that.
I didn't think he'd be. I thought in a game like this where you've got so many dangerous players on ground level, and I guess they're not really getting territory, but I thought he'd just be back half today. That's the way I thought the game was going to go.
Sam Cummings impressed me a lot today. I think he's had a really good game. I think he's got a lot of AFL traits as well. But yeah, okay, 3-2-1. Sharp, Schubert. Who's kicked that? That was a nice goal as well. That's Nye.
Yeah.
He's been quiet. Is that his first touch?
It maybe.
I think it is. I think that is his first touch. That's incredible. Got to give the ruckman. The ruckman.
I think combined, Ainsworth and Sharp.
Yes,
that has been pretty lethal.
That's been impressive. Yeah. Reichhelt's been good off the half back. I think he's been their best. I really like Dorr.
I was just about to say, and I was checking his stats to see how impressive he's been. 10 intercept possessions.
I was going to say he wouldn't have had a good game necessarily on paper as far as disposals, but I think he's
intercepting.
Yeah. So
I was just going to bring him up.
Sharp, Ainsworth, and Dorr would be my 3 for sure. Let us know in the comments too, like if you guys agree with that.
I think Schubert's been pretty impressive as well, and his stocks have just bolted up.
Yep, absolutely. How'd the Bombers NGA boys go?
I mean, not too flashy, but that's probably what we want. I'm not worried about their stocks at all. For the future, I think Suede. I was really interested to see how he would go against those, bigger bodied mids, because my concern with him is his size.
Yeah.
And I think he has been exposed a little bit there now. So it would have been cool to see him more in open play and see how he can be damaging as like a high half forward that kind of goes into the midfield. He is nigh again.
Centers it, does the team thing.
And it's good.
Oh, Barker.
And that's...
Is that an injury to Rory Wright?
No,
Rory's had a tough day.
Yeah,
he's tried to break a few tackles. He can't get through. Dyson Sharp just wrapped him up there before as well. So dirty day for Vic Metro. Like overall, like this couldn't have gone much worse. Barker's got an opportunity here to kick 100 points on them. They've kicked just the 5 goals themselves. Yeah, like Vic Metro. I mean, they're a team in this competition that, as much as it is about getting drafted and whatnot, like they see themselves as a dominant team, don't they? There's an arrogance about Vic Metro, and this will hurt them.
Yeah, I mean, if they're not contending in every year, that there's, they'd be unhappy.
The question is now, with South Australia's dominant start to this carnival, beating the best 2 teams probably that we thought were in it, they've only got now Country and WA to play in the carnival. So, like, if they beat probably one of those 2 teams,
they win.
They win.
Yeah. And they could have some real fun doing it. They're clearly connected, but it's really helping their draft stocks as well.
Oh, it is.
Schubert out of this champs has really risen.
Do you remember?
I'd say Piker too.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And even maybe like a Reichelt or someone.
Cook,
Dor. Yep. I could see Dor going high. He's a bit of a similar player to Taylor, and he's absolutely as far as like if they're battling, not that they're.
Is he a bit taller? Or
I think he's around the same height, that low 190s mark. Listed at. Oh, I haven't got him here actually. He might be like 193. I don't think he's not a giant. There's Bammett, good ball. He's a good kick, Bammett.
That's nice.
See, I would have even liked to have seen Bammett go on ball a little bit. His contested stuff is really good. And he's 186, so he's a big boy.
Yeah.
They just didn't move anything in that first half. And there's a siren. So
I was wondering what they were doing up there, dapping each other up.
They're like shaking hands over in the corner. Yeah. It's like, yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right, well, Doveston give them something.
Yeah, that is incredible stuff. Schubert must be rising. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He,
I'd probably have him in I would have him in my best. It's a tough day for it, actually. I just think they've been so good as a team.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And ultimately, like, who was best on ground doesn't... It's not like the recruiters go, he was best on ground, so then he gets this position in the draft. Yeah. Like, it doesn't work like that anyway. Yeah. So it doesn't particularly matter. But I think, though, that group that we've talked about were definitely up there.
Yeah.
As far as him rising, the only thing with Schubert that worries me on what I've seen in recent drafts is sometimes fading that lankier build key position player. Like, Schubert probably projects as like a forward/ruck, like Tom Sims type player of last year. And clubs have, like we said, with the ruck rules changing and things like that, they've liked a more physical player, and he looks a bit more on the athletic side. Yeah, you look at like a Floyd Burmeister, for example. He's been faded. I feel like that's to do with...
he'd be drafted if it's this year, if he's in this...
You would think so.
Yeah.
You would think so, but I mean, teams still have the opportunity to draft him.
I guess, yeah, true.
I feel like teams like genuinely look at that lanky type, I don't know, that has like ambiguous upside of their athleticism because of the position and how that position is at the moment. They're favouring more physical beasts.
Fair enough, yeah.
With more size on them. We'll get through a couple more comments. Keen fans here in Munter Bay.
Munter?
Where's that?
Oh, yeah. SA. Yeah. No, not really, but we've got a holiday house there, my family. So I've been around there a lot.
Yeah, right. I've got no idea. Is that on the cut?
It's lovely. It's a great place.
Love that.
Good beach.
Love that. We've still got 81 on the stream. This is the biggest national champ stream we've done at the moment. So you must be pulling all the people in.
Big game, to be fair.
Yes.
It would have been good to have it a bit closer.
61 points.
That is crazy, yeah. Yeah.
I cannot believe that.
5 goals. And I was hyping up their forward line.
Yeah. I know.
Not that it is really the issue, but yeah.
Forecasting this game, I'm going, Rory Wright's going to go, he's going to be massive in this game. Sam Grlj's going to be tearing it up. No, South Australia won't be able to have anyone that'll run with him.
Yeah.
Greaves didn't really get on ball until the second half. It was just a bit of a lackluster affair. I'm a bit
Good word for it.
Yeah, a bit disappointed with them overall. Next 2 games for Dylan Patterson from Allies could go in top 10. Oh, I think he's a lock for the top 10.
Top 10. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like around the 7 mark.
The only thing that would maybe suggest he isn't is because he's tied to Gold Coast. Clubs aren't always going to just bid for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if
I actually think as well, like Lombard, I think got bid on around. Was he around at 9? I think he got the bid. Came. I think he was better than that.
Yeah, and I mean he was he won the
medal.
Yeah, he did with
Langford.
Yeah,
Langford tied for the Lark medal. Yeah, for sure. Are Metro missing anyone? Yes, absolutely they are.
In the comments, Louis Emmett.
Yep. Yeah, Louis Emmett, jump on board, mate. That's a big out for them, particularly having a ruck rotation, like a high-end ruck rotation like that. He's super competitive, Louis Emmett. He's a good key position player as well when he goes forward, so he's a big one. They're missing Jackson Barber that we talked about, key defender, although...
I think he might just not be playing.
He might just not be playing, not picked. And the other big one is Sam Allen from the Oakley Chargers, another midfield option, very athletic, captain of the Scotch College team, and in the Oakley Chargers setup as well. So a bit of leadership there, I suppose, which probably overall did look like they lacked those players that were sort of stepping up.
And speaking on leadership, we probably should just hype up Dyson Sharp a bit because he is the SA captain, and that is a unit like team. They're clearly he's doing something right. So I think that's probably a big tick in his favour for going up draft boards is his leadership because he's the captain of such a strong performing team, which many didn't think would be this strong. Yeah,
absolutely. I totally agree with that. And someone saying in the comments here, Dyson Sharp, another best on ground performance, going to prove everyone wrong like Jagger. Yeah, I mean, as far as like, I don't think he was best on in the last game, but it is like he performs well consistently. I didn't. The thing is, I guess with Dyson Sharp for me, it's not necessarily surprising these performances.
No,
So whose prediction to win the medal? Well, Sharp's probably up there.
Or you know what? I'd probably back Schubert at this stage. I mean, maybe not of today, but
would you put? I feel like it's usually a mid, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
The other player that I would put up there potentially for the medal would be Annabelle.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I reckon.
I mean, yeah. How did he go? He didn't play yesterday. Never mind.
They lost last... Yeah, so he's only played the one game.
Yeah. Great shout because he's so consistent.
He's consistent and you just feel like he's enough. Like you could pick... That's the thing. Going into these tournaments, you can pick the guys that are going to... Before they start. Like it's going to be Annabelle. It's going to be Sharp. It's going to be these big inside mids that usually have the best performances. So... Probably in contrast to that Metro, like their guys didn't really stand up today, but I do feel like that was partly positional, like where they were. Like I didn't see Ollie Greaves at a centre bounce until the second half, I don't think. So we didn't see that first quarter. Going to watch that back and check it all out. We'll wrap this stream up because I'm jumping on another stream in about 25 minutes.
Oh, are you?
On the True Footy channel. We are doing, me, Jesse and Druzy are doing the West Coast versus North game. So a bit of animosity there between me and Jesse for West Coast versus North Melbourne. So
huge game too.
It is a huge game. It's spoonball.
Yeah.
It is spoonball.
That is good stuff.
So it will be as well. It will be a draft relevant game because the winner of that game will dictate the draft, whether Richmond or West Coast are sort of in line for that number one pick, and then what happens with the Oscar Allen stuff as well. Mate, Felix, everything Essendon, anyone out there that loves Essendon or just loves footy, go and check out his channel. He's the best in the business when it comes to Essendon. Mate, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. Good fun.
Yep. Love it. And enjoy the rest of your trip in Melbourne.
I will. Hopefully we get a win tonight.
Absolutely. Apart from that, I think we'll wrap this one up and I'll see you on the next stream.